the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy to Tuesday.
Yeah, I hope it's a super one for you. Yeah, I don't know. It just an extra syllable there.
I like it. Sometimes you're happy and sometimes you gotta be happy.
Yeah. Go add that, Mr. Merriam-Webster people. Go add that to the dictionary.
Have a happy day. It's gonna be such a good day. We're not even gonna be happy. We're gonna be happy.
Well, I do remember a Peter Cottontail song. Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way. Have a hippity hoppity day.
Oh, that just reminded me. An ex's son one time told me, and I quote, "Hippity hoppity, your money is now my property."
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one, right?
It is.
I was like, that's creative.
Yeah.
I even made it into a meme and sent it back to him. I'm like, I'm gonna remember that one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, for, a hold up, if you ever, hold somebody up in, a dark alley, but you want to be creative about it,
Yeah.
work that in.
Yeah. We'll call you the Mugger Poet Laureate
right.
or something like that.
That's right. That mugger had a heart of gold.
I'm the Mugger Poet Laureate. I mug people, but I hit them with a poem.
That's right.
As I mug them. I love when you bring art to your crime.
Oh, you asked for it, buddy. I'm about to break you off with a vicious coupling.
As I possess your wallet, allow me to offer you some prose in the meantime. But
In deep, dark pools that are the color of your eyes, and thick is the hair on your hairy thighs.
that's not wooing people. I don't know what will.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Gift of gab right there.
Well, happy Tuesday morning. Hope all of you are having a delightful day so far.
Yes, sir.
It's typical New Mexico weather. Another warm, windy day.
Warm and windy.
Yeah.
Good day for me, bad day for my cat.
That's right. Is today the day, or
Today
was
is
yesterday?
the day. No, it's. I'm going to be heading over there actually right after this. I got to run over, pick him up, take him over there at 8.
Okay. So at 8 a.m., of course, if you haven't heard in previous episodes of the show,
little Mornings with Mike Winters context.
Yeah.
The
escapades of one Tony the cat,
yes,
which is Sean's male rescue cat that is not yet neutered and is marking his ceremony.
He's flexing.
Yeah, flexing a little bit, soiling some oats, if you will.
He's reminding us, that he lives there.
Yes.
And I'm getting sick of it. Basically, parents, he's essentially a 13-year-old boy at this point. He's just leaving stink all over the house in random places, and I don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
It's not like, balled up tissues. At this point, he's, leaving it on pillows and stuff.
So this morning's the surgery.
Yep. And this weekend is playing that fun new game, Find the Smell.
There you go. So no more Tony the cat springs.
No more catastrophes.
Yeah. So needless to say,
he's gonna hate me.
So he'll be quiet tonight.
Exactly. Yeah. It's time. I mean, not only the spraying thing.
He's actually going to be a healthier cat.
He's rambunctious. He constantly picks fights with Stefan. Every time I open the door, I have to immediately close it behind me for fear of him just darting out, to go sow more oats.
Yeah.
So yeah,
maybe so calm him down a little bit.
It'll be good. It is time.
It will be healthier for the cat.
Big thanks to the Humane Society for hooking me up with a voucher. By the way, if you do have an animal that needs to be spayed or neutered, they do have limited vouchers available.
Okay.
Go talk to the Roswell Humane Society and they can get you taken care of.
Yeah, if you never applied before and need the financial help there, go talk to them. They'll see what they can do. Obviously they can't help everybody. Right. As many as they can help, they'll do. So, yes, that's good news. So
yes, it is.
We'll have to get the full report in the morning.
I'll take pictures.
Oh, good.
I'll bring pictures and video, a whole diorama. It's like one of those, when you were a kid, you had to do a science project. And it was the only time I've ever seen this in my entire life. The 3 poster board, backdrop setup.
Yeah.
With all of your research, your hypothesis. I've never in my life seen that in any other scenario or situation.
No, it's always science fair projects.
Trifold poster board displays.
Yep.
Only in science projects.
Yep.
That is
science
a very niche product.
Yeah. And then you want to go one layer about that. 79% of said tricord deal has a solar system or volcano sitting in front of it. So.
Right. I remember my sisters, and you couldn't pull this off today, but my sister's science project, that was like the big deal at her high school, was she put cotton balls into a 2-liter bottle, and she took a pack of my dad's cigarettes, and for several packs, and for a month, she would, like twice a day, smoke a cigarette with this bottle. Like she would inhale it, like, squeeze the bottle to simulate an inhale, and then an exhale, basically like using it like a lung, to show the before and after of the cotton balls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Using my dad's cigarettes.
Nice.
He loved it. He was a huge fan of that project.
And then we turned around and used it as a commercial for Durrell.
It was, you know what? You're not wrong. It was Durrell's. It was Durrell Light 100s. That's exactly what he smoked. Real garbage cigarettes,
I just took a stab.
I remember literally the brand, the type, the length, and the fact that he used to take the labels off, because if you send enough labels in, you get a free carton.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. It's the actual usable Marble Miles of
basically
smokers would actually care about.
Remember when you were a kid and you sent in your box tops to get a decoder ring? Yeah.
Just like Marble Miles.
Exactly.
We talked a whole thing about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Smoke 1 million cigarettes and you get a canoe.
Enjoy, kids.
Yeah. You'll use that to carry your aqualung. But it was different times.
It was a simpler time. We didn't have a lot of entertainment, all right?
That's true.
We smoked.
That's
what we did.
But that's funny. But we do. Actually, we're going to replay shows, interviews for you today. We don't have any guests in, but we got some great interviews to play for you. This hour, we're going to play an interview we had yesterday with Tabitha Denny and Kyla Williams from the Royal Family Kids here in Roswell. And Purple Day is April the 27th, and that is a day where they raise awareness for the Royal Family Kids, raise funds for Royal Family Kids for they help abused, neglected children, and they go take them to summer camp for a week, and it's a really great deal. But so we're going to play that interview talking about Purple Day, talking about Royal Family Kids, talking about you get involved, all that good stuff too. So
very good.
Let's see. Yes, that was the other one. Camel Cash.
Oh my God, Camel Cash.
Yeah, that was the other one. To compete with the Marble Miles, you get Camel Cash. So
Joe Camel with his incredibly suggestive nose.
You just saw a bunch of people with lung cancer in the 90s with cool leather jackets.
That's right.
And backpacks.
They knew, man. They knew. We just wanted to look cool. That's all we were doing.
He's got an adventure team backpack.
Is that a windbreaker? Not even a good coat.
That's right.
The same thing you get from the 4-H, local 418.
But you spent $37,000 in cigarettes to get that.
You like my coat?
Yeah. I got a mountain bike.
Bees.
I'm gonna give it to my grandkids when I'm 30.
Right on my deathbed.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, I'm about to cough. That's the irony about it, that I'm laughing and coughing.
This show is sponsored by R.J. Reynolds.
There you go. So we'll play the interview with the Royal Family Kids Camp folks here this hour. Next hour, in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to play an interview. We had Matt Bristol joined us last week, and always gives us sage advice from Bristol Law Office. We talked a lot about, we talked a lot about, when it comes to like visiting county services, like the assessor and the clerk, and when and why and how to do those things. So we'll play that interview for you here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we had an interview about 2 weeks ago. Jim Tucker joined us in studio. We had his daughter, Jennifer Tucker, on the phone, and also Chandra Bodner. She's with an organization called Project Protect Me. And they're an organization that actually goes and, they're over in Kosovo. Not Kosovo. I can't believe I'm way out of line. Ukraine.
Right.
Sorry. They're over in Ukraine right now helping families, helping people doing, and it's folks, a lot of them are former military vets, and they go over there and help getting supplies, aid, helping move families to get resources. They've helped domestically, like they've been involved in Katrina, various things here locally. When I say locally, in the United States, and
domestically,
and then of course, when there's international issues like with the war in Ukraine, I keep wanting to say Kosovo. I don't know why. In Ukraine, I don't know why I keep wanting to do it. My head, get out of there. But anyway, so we're gonna play that interview to learn more about that, and then if you'd like to donate or help out, that's the way to do it.
They're currently set up in Latvia. I'm not sure why. Just chose there.
Well,
not a lot going on there. But
when I was in the military and I went to Italy and we were bombing Kosovo and all, and so in my head I keep slipping that in every once in a while. I guess I'm lumping all my Eastern Bloc European stuff into one thing. So my apologies, but it's a pretty good organization. So we'll play that interview for you here, and thanks to the Tucker family for putting it on our radar.
It's not that surprising that you're lumping the Eastern Bloc into one, because it's basically just all one long cinder block apartment complex, drab gray, with one sad kid in dirty, tattered clothes in the middle of the street.
There you go.
That's basically the entire Eastern Bloc. I just summed it up for you.
They had someone's image in their head. It's really not,
it's
but
not.
A lot of people think
they have fun festivals. Okay.
Yes, we have the Vodka Festival.
That's right. I actually have been to Romania.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful country. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and
rolling hillsides. It's very much like, and we made this joke a lot over there. It's very much like the movie Heidi.
Okay.
Like, just big green rolling hills, a lot of trees.
Sound of Music.
Yeah, very kind of like,
twirling.
Random, this guy wasn't blonde girls, random, young girls in, black hair with, pigtails running down the hills and chasing hoops with sticks.
So let me ask you, was it ideal frolicking terrain?
I would say yes
If
and
one
no.
would frolic.
Here's why I would balk at a frolic.
Okay.
For the simple fact that, and I don't know, I'm not sure exactly what the plant is called, but I can't remember exactly. We'd stopped off on the side of the road to have a lunch thing, and so we were eating, and I had wandered off to the side of the bus, and there was this bush, not even bush, it was just like a single flower, like a weed kind of. Okay, so my leg graced the weed.
Okay.
And I was instantly overtaken with immense pain. So they called it something. I can't remember what it was. But basically, these little tiny microscopic hair thorns went into my skin when I came in contact with this thing. This plant. I literally can't. I just had it in my head. I can't remember what it's called.
I know.
But it's real big in that region.
Okay.
But it's specifically when it comes in contact with human skin, it releases these hair size spikes.
So frolic with pants on.
Frolic with pants, yes.
Okay.
With some type of protection.
All right, pantaloon frolicking.
Yes.
Okay.
Frolic, but use protection.
That's right. Let's take
what we're
notes.
saying.
If you're ever in Romania and have a desire to frolic, wear pants.
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool.
Protect yourself from the mysterious weed of thorn.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Well, that should be a Google search.
Yeah.
Thorny weed native to Romania. Let's see what happens.
I think it's just like native to Europe.
Okay.
I'm going to find out. I'll get back.
Nice. Oh, that's funny. That's good. Stinging nettles? That was the name.
That's it. That's exactly what it was. Yep.
Okay, there you go.
A nettle thing. Yep. That's
Andrea
exactly what it was.
explained, send me a text saying stinging nettles.
Tip of the tongue was like, it's called like a so yeah, that's it.
There you go. All right. Well, Sean learned something today. Don't go to Romania. Watch out for the stinging nettles. It is 7:20. Probably should get going here on interviews here. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very warm temperatures coming up by tomorrow. It'll be pretty warm today, too, with upper 80s, a little bit breezy, and a mix of sunshine and clouds with a low-pressure system moving just to our north. Overnight, some clouds and our low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we have high pressure returning on Wednesday. That'll kick our afternoon highs into the mid-90s, gusty wind and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 57 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 39%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Because of the wind, we do have another fire weather watch today. That's going to kick in at 8 o'clock this morning. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. That's tomorrow. I was just realizing that's April 20th I just saw there. My apologies. That's for tomorrow. But today, it's still going to be a little breezy. Mostly cloudy, 83 for a high today with south winds 10 to 20. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 52, south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday is when the fire weather watch will be issued. That's from 8 a.m. till midnight tomorrow. They're saying sunny, warm, 93 for a high tomorrow. Winds are going to be out of the south early, 10 to 15, later increasing 15 to 20 out of the west for the afternoon. Tomorrow night, clear skies with an overnight low of 54, west winds 15 to 20. They'll drop down 5 to 10 after midnight. For your Thursday, another warm one, sunny and 94. Winds will be out of the southwest early 5 to 10, later increasing 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and windy with a high of 94. And then windy Friday night as well with an overnight low of 55. And then we'll be settling in the low 80s on Saturday, sunny and 83. Cooler on Sunday, sunny and 78 for a high. And looks like we'll start out at least the first part of next week in the upper 70s. So warm high, still a little roller coaster, even if we're just moving up on the temperature scale there. All right, 7:22. We're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll play our interview with the ladies talking Royal Family Kids Camp. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A lighter Tuesday run following Easter Sunday, but a good selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality weaned calves and light yearlings and cow-calf pairs. We expect to sell 500 head, breaking down like this: 75 to 100 weighing cows and bulls, 75 to 100 pairs bred cows, 350 400 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 10 cow-calf pairs, the Hager Ranch, Barstow, Texas, X-quality black and Charolais crossbred cows with Angus calves at side. These cows 4 to 6 years old. 16 pairs, Chavis Ranch, Los Lunas, New Mexico, good quality black white face Angus crossbred cows with Angus calves 8 to 10 years old. 21 bred cows, Mr. Joe David Yates at Tularosa, New Mexico. Good quality black white face Angus and Brangus crossbred calves, bred to Angus and Charolais bulls. Cows 7 to 10 years old, mostly third trimester. 34 heifer calves, JB Runyon Ranch, Hope, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus and Brangus cross calves, cattle weaned 30 plus days, 350, 450 pounds. 15 calves, Mr. Rodney Webb at Weed, New Mexico. Excellent quality black white-faced calves, cattle weaned 30 days, 400, 500 pounds. 15 calves off the Hager Ranch at Barstow, Texas. X-quality black Angus and Charolais crossbred calves, 300, 375 pounds. And 20 calves, Roger Harrison, Pecos, Texas. X-quality black white-faced and Charolais cross calves, medium condition, 400, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows, 9:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10. A lighter run today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 500 head. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is looking for a qualified field technician to join their team. The PVACD conserves the waters of the Roswell Artesian Basin with lands located in both Chavez and Eddy counties. Please visit their website at pvacd.com for requirements and job qualifications or for more information on this great career opportunity. Resumes can be submitted at the PVACD office located at 2303 East 2nd Street in Roswell. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is an equal opportunity employer. The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A U.S. quarter has 119 grooves at its edge. A dime has one less groove. So by definition, that makes a dime less groovy. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us in studio this morning from Royal Family Kids here in Roswell, Tabitha Denny back with us, and Kyla Williams as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing today? How's everybody doing?
Good. Enjoying our weather.
Have a good Easter?
Yes.
Good deal. Got to spend some time with family and
and eat.
And a lot of eating.
Lots of eating.
So did you guys have ham? We were just talking about this earlier, as ham being kind of the official food. I didn't have ham. But
I didn't have ham.
Yeah, see, maybe it's weird. I mean, he was like, everybody says ham. I mean, I've had ham a lot on Easter, but I didn't know if it was like official or unofficial.
No, and I think actually, my son made us hamburgers and brats.
Nice.
It was
Cookout
really good.
Easter dinner. Yeah.
Like with a grilled pineapple and
Nice.
sauteed. Oh, it was delicious.
I think if Christmas was warmer weather, we'd be doing the same thing for Christmas, too.
I think so, too.
I think that's the only reason it stops us. It's usually too cold to be out there grilling. That'd stop everybody, but, most of us, it kind of does. We're not here to talk about food, although I'm sure we'll get back to doing that.
Yes,
but Royal Family Kids here in Roswell. First off, before we talk about Purple Day and all that, we probably want to give some folks some background about it. Actually, this is not just local here. Royal Family Kids is it national?
It's international.
International, but about I don't know, half dozen years ago, 8 years ago.
We're going on our eighth year.
Eighth year. Royal Family Kids was brought here to Roswell, and it's a great organization that works with helping abused, neglected kids, and these are kids right here in our own neighborhoods, here in Chavez County and surrounding areas. And these are kids that have rough lives, abused, foster home, multiple. Each kid has a unique story. But Royal Family Kids is all about giving these kids opportunities, chances. Each summer, the Royal Family Kids Camp takes place up in the mountains, and we get kids from all over the Pecos Valley here, really, come to the mountains and have a week of fun camp, and that's what it is. It's not worrying about anything other than them up in the mountains, fishing, swimming, hiking, having fun, just being out in the woods and doing camp stuff. It's an all-volunteer organization of camp counselors that come for the week and are trained, obviously, because these are kids that helping because. Through the lessons of fishing and swimming and all that, they're learning how people should interact and families should interact, and they learn things about love. They receive love. They and in the hopes of that rubs off over a while, and they are able to give love and do the things that we as humans covet and want as part of our own lives. And at the end of the day, that's all that's about is giving these kids an opportunity to feel something that should be normal to every kid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Is that pretty much
that's pretty much. That was really good. You're on the radio talking about that.
That was great.
Yeah, and so April is kind of a busy month for Royal Family Kids. Purple Day is
April 27th.
April 27th, which is for the Royal Family Kids the biggest recognition day for the program, and really it's all about raising awareness and funds.
Yes.
So you guys are asking people to support by wearing your purple, donning your purple. There's going to be signs. We'll talk all about that here in a second. But of course, supporting Royal Family Kids, whether it's you raising or donating money for Royal Family Kids, which, by the way, all of it goes back to the programs and everything for the camp, these kids. If maybe, even if I get it, money's tight, you're like, dude, I just paid for Easter, I'm broke, I get it. But at least, put a purple sign in your yard. Maybe wear a purple shirt in that day. Share it on your social media accounts. Get the word out there so as many people know that it happens, and then we can, where the problem getting to camp is, hey, we need to get more kids in here, not do we have enough money to pull camp off this
Absolutely.
year.
Exactly.
And that's what we want to have happen. So fill in the gaps a little bit here. Talk about Purple Day and more of the details that I kind of missed.
And that was a good transition in. One of the things with camp is because we are 100% volunteer based, and so all our funds are fundraised, donated. We don't get anything from the state or anyone else, but it's kind of like, did the chicken come first or the egg?
Right.
Because a lot of times that if we don't have the funds, it makes it difficult to take the kids, and if we have the kids, so it's kind of a little bit of both.
You can't have the funds without the kids, and you can't get the kids without the funds.
Correct.
And it is not a fun conversation to have a list of kids' names and then to be like, where is our money at?
Right.
Do we have enough money to take these kids?
Yeah.
It is not a fun conversation.
No.
It's not. And unfortunately, what happens is, usually what happens when you probably fall into those situations, people that have step up every time, that they just give of themselves. It's like, all right, I'll cover it out of my own pocket. And we love those people, but they can't afford to do that all the
Every
time.
time,
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so we want to put this on people's radar. So, you always hear more hands make less work, and that's really what we're talking about here. We have, I know we've been having this debate for 100 years, but we got roughly 50,000 people that live in the city of Roswell.
Correct.
Everybody contributed $1. $1.
That's a lot of money.
For your
It
kids,
is.
if you got 4 people in your family, give us $4.
Right.
And if everyone did that, 50 grand would go a long way
It
to make
absolutely
sure Royal Family Kids would have an excellent camp this
Yeah.
summer.
And one of the things with camp is we don't charge any of our foster families, so there's no fee for them.
Only thing they got to do is come and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what it does is it not only gives the kids a week to be a kid, because many of them have so many other things going on in their lives, it also gives our foster parents kind of a chance to rest for that week.
Sure.
And so it's kind of a double thing. It really, really helps. But because
Allowing the parents to recharge their batteries while the
Yes.
kids are getting, makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we fundraise. It's a cost approximately $500 per child to go to camp. And like you mentioned earlier, they get to do a whole slew of things while they're at camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so because we are volunteer run, you did talk about like training. So we have to vet our counselors and our volunteers.
The worst thing you want to do is have unqualified volunteers working with a bunch of kids that have already been abused and neglected.
Correct.
You don't want to make it worse.
Yes, most of them have all had some form of sexual abuse, physical abuse, and so we want to make sure that everybody that comes to camp is safe and safe for our kids, safe for our volunteers to do that. And so we do have training that is a mandatory training and background checks.
Well, and it's going to be beneficial for the volunteers because we know you have a big heart. We know you want to come and help, but do you necessarily have the knowledge to break through to these kids? And that's where some of the training comes in. It's not just, it's teaching you how to make connections because these kids come from abused, neglected homes. I talk with enough people over at the Roswell Refuge to know when you're dealing with abused and neglected people, they build walls, they build barriers, they build things to protect themselves.
Yes.
And you've got to pick through that. They're not going to just let you in most of the time. You gotta work your way in and work through that armor to get to the core. And so that's where that training is because it can be probably very frustrating for your volunteers. They're just here to want to help them, and you got someone that's resisting, and it's not because it's just because they've been abused and they don't trust nobody. Right. And you've got to earn that trust.
And it's
that's how
funny
you
you say that because so many times that with these kids, they do have this walls built up. Mm-hmm. And so during that week, we really we're not there to give them therapy or doing. We're there that week is to show them love and
Sure.
that they're loved and God loves them and know that they are special.
Sure.
Because many of them have been told they are not. But during that week, it's funny. We'll have kids that come at the first of the week. We've had some that would not come off the bus when we get there. Some of them were just didn't want anything.
Sure.
And at the end of the week, we can't get that particular child on the bus to leave, or they're the ones completely bawling and crying and doing that.
Because it made so many connections and
It's
friends.
so many to where they've let that guard and they realize that I am special and I can be loved
Yeah.
and people love me and I'm not what I've had other people who are supposed to love me
Yeah.
tell me that. And so that's one of the big things of why I can tell you after my first year of going, I said to myself after this, I was like, I will never miss a camp again. And that was
Too
7 years
important
ago.
what's going on here. Yeah.
Because not only do those lives of the children change, our lives change. It's very different. It's like at the end of camp, we're all like, okay, no more camp for a little while. And then we're like, can't wait for camp to get
But then you
here.
miss it after a
and then
while,
you miss it. And because you see
Well,
that
it's
breakthrough.
exhausting to go through the camp.
It is emotionally, it is, and
is.
physically for some.
But when you're done, you're satisfied because at the end of the day, you're making differences.
Yes.
Every child that went through there that now has made a friend or has picked up a hobby
Yes.
or has realized that, you know, when
they are lovable.
yeah, that you're loved and being a part of something's a good thing.
Absolutely.
And when they realize all that, then the camp is just hit a home run. That's
Yes.
exactly what it's there for.
Yes.
Who cares the kid can't fish afterwards?
Right.
It's not about learning to fish. It's about
Right.
the experience of being there. And you know what? We're here hanging out and just living life. And hey, this is nice out here. The weather's nice and smells great. And you know, it's just not worrying about what's going to happen later today.
Correct.
You know, they just, you know, what do they worry about? What are we cooking for dinner? That's the
Right.
biggest worry of the day, you know?
Well, and that's one of the things, is that the kids, they get to have some choices in their life that week. Like if there's a particular activity and they don't want to do it,
Yeah.
we are not going to make them go do it because these kids, you know, Kyla works with CASA, so she, you know, and I volunteer, but she actually works there.
Yeah.
But we see these kids are told what they're going to do and how they're going to do stuff, so they can't, they don't have those choices. And so for a week, for 5 days, they get to make some choices for themselves. And I think for all of us, that's empowering.
Absolutely.
And
And they get to see that other kids that are in similar situations as them. And I think that's empowering for them as well, that they're not alone. And then at the end of camp, they get a photo book with photos of different moments that they've had throughout camp.
Sure.
And we use the word magical moments because that's our goal at camp. We want to create magical moments for
Yeah.
them. And so as the therapist at CASA, some of these kids I get to see, you know, outside of camp.
Sure.
And one of the greatest things I'm always telling the team is the kids all throughout the year are like, do I get to go back to camp? Or, you know, remembering things from camp.
Sure.
And when they rode a horse for the very first time, they've never even seen a horse and they got to ride a horse, which is so cool.
And that's one of the cool parts of because you actually get to see, because like some of your volunteers, they only really get to see them at that week at
Yeah,
camp.
exactly.
So they don't get to see the improvements or the progression except for that week at camp.
Yes.
If they're repeat campers here. For you saw them beforehand and saw what they were going through, the struggles and things. You're seeing them at camp, seeing them negotiating some of that, and then you're seeing the end result where things that they were dealing with as problems prior to camp, they aren't such a big deal on the other
Yes.
side. They're kind of, I'm not saying they're going to come night and day different, but it's all part of that maturing, growing, learning, almost retraining the brains a little bit to say, you can trust
Absolutely.
humanity. There are
Exactly.
humanity is a wonderful thing. I'm sorry your first part of life on it did not show you that. We can show you the other way and what it's
And
really.
the camp goes until they're 12 years old, and then we have a little special something that we do for the kids to kind of transition them out of camp. You know, very special just for that age group
Yeah.
on one of the nights. And so what's always interesting is as I'm going through the process, whether it's in therapy or just another aspect of CASA,
Yeah.
they're already wanting to come and volunteer. They're already asking.
I was
"When
about
can
to
I
say,
go?"
now
and
that-
we just had our first, Mike, as a matter of fact, 2 years ago, we had our first kiddo that actually had gone through
As a camper? I was
got to
about
come
to
back
say.
and volunteer. And for us, it's one of those bittersweet moments that we
Sure.
have to still have.
Yeah,
Camp
first you're
because
like,
of that.
man, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
And then second, you're like, holy
Exactly.
cow,
Yes.
this is cool. The
It
circle
is
of
to
life
have
is
their-
working.
Yes,
Kids that
and
were,
for them to come back, and Kyla touched on it, I think for the kids to see that it's not just them.
Yeah.
But to have a kid that's coming back as a volunteer to
Sure.
go, I was in your place
You
one
hit a
time.
home
I
run
was
with that
there.
child. Yeah.
And, for them to come back. And so for
Yeah.
us, I think that's one of those kind of amazing things.
That's the most best evidence that you as an individual can have that what you're doing is making a
Yes.
difference. And because I was just thinking, you've been 8 years now. You're going to start hitting that
Yes.
point where some of your counselors and volunteers are going to be campers at some
Yes.
point. And now this last year was the first year you're seeing
Yeah,
that, and
year
probably going to
before
be.
last we had, and then we had one last year too.
Good
Well,
deal.
because 20 we didn't have any, so 21
That was
we
COVID
did.
year, so
but
yeah.
we it was one of those that's really neat to see
Yeah.
some of those come back.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, we've got the kids. We need the bucks. We need
Yes.
donations here. Here on Purple Day, there's lots of ways. Talk about the volunteers, though. I know you guys always could use more counselors to be a part of camp. Like you said, there's training involved, but how does one start that process, and what's the obligation that they're committing themselves to?
So there's so many different roles for volunteers. So a lot of people we realize cannot take off a week and go spend at camp. So there's, we need prayers all the time. We need help we have a welcome home dinner. We have registration.
I should
things
say
like
this
that.
is a faith-based Christian
It is faith-based
organization.
but we're
yes.
not. So it's faith-based, but we're not it's not a church camp.
Gotcha.
Because we are, we have children from the state, and so there's still.
So
that
there's not like a
going-
religion
rules.
class
No,
or
so
nothing.
you're not
but
going up and being baptized. You're not calling to the altar. The main thing is when I say faith-based, it's that we're telling these kids that we love them and God loves them, and that they are special, they are royal. That whole thing is letting those kids
Sure.
know. Which
You're not
is
indoctrinating
exactly
Christians
no,
or
that's
anything
not
like that.
any of that stuff. It's
Yeah.
just to let them
Sure.
know.
Unfortunately, in this day and age, we got to say that nowadays.
We do.
It's-
It is unfortunate.
We live in a world
absolutely.
now where everyone wants to try to see through your see your intentions
Yes.
and find ill will there. And at the end of the day, there's nothing ill will about the Royal Family Kids Camp. We've got kids that, left to their own devices, are going to be dead or are
Right.
going to go down past that. And it's not fair to them because all these kids, they were just handed a bad deck of cards.
Yes.
They got it. They were dealt a bad hand. That we talk about life and life not being fair, and that's absolutely true. And unfortunately, the kids that are part of Royal Family Kids are a direct product of
Yes.
that, and that's why the camp
Absolutely.
exists. Where you know what, you got a really bad hand. You know what? We're going to show you that life doesn't matter what you got a bad head. We can still make have an excellent life, and show you what humanity's really about,
Yes.
and show you what it's like to be a good human.
It's planting those memories. I mean, I work with foster kids in my day job with treatment kids. And so, Kyla and I are probably, out of all of us, are pretty lucky where we get to see before and after to get that experience
Yeah.
to do it. So that part of it's really neat. But
Sure.
for our volunteers, they come from all walks of life. Some have had experience in trauma in their past. And that's part of the reason why we interview all our volunteers, because we want to make sure it's a good fit, not just for our kids, but for
Absolutely.
them, because we deal with adults that have not dealt with their trauma. And the last thing in the world we want to do is to trigger an adult while they're at camp.
Absolutely.
Or to trigger another child
Sure.
to do that. So it's vetted in that way. But
Sure.
for the most part, we've had only maybe a handful over the years to do that because of the reason. And we do, like I said, the background checks, because we also want to make sure that we're not placing these kids and we have with someone who could possibly hurt them.
Absolutely.
And so
Yeah.
there's some pretty strict
stringent,
rules.
yes.
And we do that for the protection of our kids and protection of our
And
volunteers.
I think most people understand that, and
They
for
do.
that reason are
They do.
very receptive to going
Yes.
through the process. To
Yes.
like you said, it could be a little invasive, a little bit annoying, but that's the part of what it is.
And you
Because at
kinda
the end
know
of the
that going
day,
in. Yep.
yeah, because at the end of the day, the end game, what we're trying to do is worth that. That's why we
Absolutely.
do that, and that's and I think the other part too is your volunteers come away with so much. Even like you said, you two have you see it day in and day out. So I'm not saying you're jaded, but you know the real deal. You it's not sugar coated
Right.
for you, or
Exactly.
it's not an image on TV for you,
Or it's not
something-
somewhere else, not
Yes.
in my community, or not next door to me. It's,
Yeah.
oh, it's in the other town, or it's not my home. And unfortunately, we see that like it happens in
Sure.
places that you would never imagine.
Yeah.
And so it's becoming that, but it's giving those kids, that chance. And so our volunteers, at least 16 and up,
Sure.
our counselors, what we call our counselors. So we have a 1-to-2 ratio. So for every counselor, there's 2 kids.
That's an amazing number.
And so
ratio, by the
we
way.
do that for the reason because we want those children to have all that attention to them for that week. And so we do that. So our counselors, though, do have to be 18 and up. They have to be adults. But we have other roles that happen to make camp work because the
takes a
planning
lot of
goes
people.
into it. It literally takes a village.
It does.
And so our planning pretty much, there's probably 3 months out of the year we're not planning camp. And now we're got in the groove, we're going. But with COVID happening and doing some of the other stuff, we lost some of our volunteers because one of the things they were in college and now they have to be grown-ups. And so
Darn it.
they had to get real jobs. And so we're
Life
constantly,
happened.
yes. And so we're constantly having to do that. So we're kind of almost starting over again, per se.
So you kind of need a new batch, a new
Yes.
generation of
Yes.
volunteers to step forward.
Yes.
And even with, there's so many roles at camp, like Tabitha was kind of speaking on, we use the word support staff at camp. And that's maybe you just don't want to be a counselor. That's not your thing. Or maybe you're 18 and under. Maybe you're one of our 17-year-olds. So
Yeah.
you're not quite there yet.
Sure.
But at camp, from the time the kids' eyes open until the time they go to sleep, there is something going on.
Yeah.
There's an activity. We're very much scheduled throughout
Sure.
the day from one activity to the next, the next, the next.
Well, I would imagine too, if maybe you're not working well with groups of people and things, there's probably lots of jobs you can do there at the camp. That's just the running of the like. There's maintenance involved. There's food and waste removal. There's things that have to be done for the health and welfare of the camp that maybe don't require necessarily interaction with the kids all
Yes.
the time, but is absolutely an invaluable service to making sure that camp runs.
Yes.
So if you maybe want to, I'm not good with kids, but I can make sure your trash is not going to be piled up or the food gets, all the unfun, sexy parts of camp that need to be done. All need those volunteers.
And they're all important.
They are, and I'll plant a seed because I think this is important. But we, when we have the activities at camp, yes, we have the fun things, the horseback riding, zip line, all of those things. But some other stations or areas that we like to have, for instance, one of them is a grandma and grandpa area.
Okay.
Another one is an aunt and an uncle, and they do some sort of fun activity. It's probably different every year. But one of the reasons why we do that is to show these kids kind of what it looks like in a family unit. What does an appropriate grandma and grandpa
Sure.
look like? And so they get to receive love from those
Sure.
people, our
Yes.
grandma and grandpa or our aunt and uncle.
Sure.
And that is always, it's kind of interesting because yes, they love the zip line and yes, they love these fun things, but they really, really love to go visit aunt and uncle. Or, grandma and grandpa sitting on the porch that give out cookies.
Sure.
We get quilts donated to us. What's that group called so we could shout them out?
It's from the church, and if you hadn't asked me, I would have told you. It's the church
It
on
will
Main
come to
Street
you.
over there, that the ladies over there, they do quilts all years and give us,
Okay.
so the kids get quilts. It's over
will
by
come.
Pioneer, like across the street. Oh my goodness.
Is it I'm looking up now. I'm racking my
no.
brain thinking over there. Is it the Lutheran church there?
Yes.
Okay. Emmanuel Lutheran, is that one?
No, not
it's not
Emmanuel,
Emmanuel. It's
nope.
the other one. Dang it, with the pumpkins.
Yes, that's always in the front.
Yes.
I can't, it just totally, yes.
I think y'all's thing just boiled
Yes.
over to my head.
Someone
'cause
write
I'm
it on
in-
Facebook.
Yeah.
But yes, so and I'm glad that's one of the things, and I have a couple shout outs. So
Yeah.
that is one of them. Like, so the kids get their own quilts, or one year some of them got animals.
Yeah.
And so they get that when they go see grandma and grandpa. And so with grandma and grandpa, like that's the one thing we haven't had in a little while. We have the aunt and uncle, which they talk about family, and
Yeah.
that is one of the things that we want to do at camp, so they can see what
An appropriate.
and I'm appropriate. I don't want to say normal because normal is very different,
Sure.
but an appropriate, so they can have that. And
What
to do.
society looks at as what we say is a loving family.
Yeah.
And what
Loving
we
family,
see, and
yes.
this is what a lot of kids your age are
Yes.
experiencing. This is
Yes.
what it's
Yes.
like.
And those quilts, it's something they get to go home with, kind of like their photo
Keepsake.
books. It's
Yeah.
a keepsake. They're going to remember it forever. They're always going to remember grandma and grandpa. And that's very special. So it's so much more than just a zip line or, these moments where they get to have fun and be kids.
Sure.
Yes, that is so important. But
Well-
then there's these other aspects too that make this camp very unique.
Sure. Well, it's really teaching them who the mentors are in their life and things, because they've gone into a life where most
healthy.
Well, where in a healthy lifestyle you figured out who your mentors are, because they kind of come to the surface real
Yes.
quickly.
Yes.
In a abusive situation, that's not always true. So things that we take for granted, people that grew up in these loving, surrounded, nurturing, healthy relationships, it's sometimes hard for us to understand that if you never experienced that, that's not common sense or commonplace.
Well,
It's-
because some kids, maybe, for example, their grandpa's not a safe adult.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, a
Exactly.
trigger for them or a bad memory. And so at camp, they get to relearn that there are safe, older adult
Sure.
men that can be in the role of grandpa that
Yeah.
can love them and show them appropriate love and connection. And that's special.
And I think that's just good for generational, you look in the world we live in today, and it seems very divisive about everything, including generations. You got, millennials yelling at Gen Xers and Gen Xers yelling at
Right.
baby boomers and vice versa and all that. Maybe some of this, kind of blurs those lines a little bit and understand that, the people that are older than you aren't all just talking down to you. And that's another, I think.
Yes.
So these same people probably look at grandmother, grandpa, and aunt and uncle and say, yeah, they're the ones who tell me I'm doing it wrong all the time. You know what I mean? And so you're showing, no. There's give and take on that. They show you the love and then try to steer you on the path. And when you come off, they try to nudge you back on it. That's all they're doing,
Yeah.
And,
so we need a grandma and grandpa at camp.
But I think if you love camping and love all this stuff, like when the counselor stuff, do y'all stay in cabins or tents?
They do.
or-
So our counselors and some of our support staff, the counselors are with the kids 24/7.
Okay.
And so they get a little break in the evening so they
Sure.
can go do their showers and check their phones, because that's one of the things that you don't have there.
Yeah, even no matter how much you want it.
Nope, they get
There's
put
no
up.
cell service.
No, it gets put up because we want your attention on those kids,
Yeah.
not on anything else. And so they have all that, but they're with those kids so they can learn
Sure.
and be with those kids, and those kids start to feel like they really are here for me.
Sure.
And to be able to.
It's to make sure there's no blurred lines there. They
Correct.
understand that this person is your mentor, your leader for the next week here.
Yes.
If you have questions, concerns, desires, this is the
Yes.
person that's going to help you with.
Yes.
Yeah, and the kids see, we had a lawyer, he came to camp one year, and a kid had kind of asked him, aren't you busy? You're a lawyer. Oh my goodness. And the counselor was able to say, hey, but this week is your week. So
Yeah.
I'm putting I'm busy in my life aside because you're important enough.
Yeah.
And I think that that's special too.
Sure.
To show these kids, I'm here for you this
Yeah.
week. And you deserve it.
And I hope that's a lesson those kids take with them, because when they get older and their lives get crazy busy, they remember that moment. It's like, you know what? Life's never too busy to help others.
Yeah.
Is planting that seed, and that's what we do. Kyla mentioned about the photo book. Mm-hmm. One of the kids that come early on, like the first year, one of the other gentlemen on our leadership team had gone over because they had gotten adopted, and they came over, and that picture book from the first year, and this is like almost 4 years later, was still by their bed.
Ah, cool.
And as a young man, and so it's one of those that they would remember, and so that's what we want for them to have those memories of doing. So we have a videographer and photographer that's there the whole week that videos everything, and so each morning from the next day, the kids get to see themselves on the video.
They're the stars
doing
of the day
something. They're
before.
stars.
Yeah,
It
that's
is. Our
cool.
videographer's amazing. Her name's Juliana. I'm sure nobody knows who she is, but she gives the kids.
It's like, I know a Juliana.
Yeah,
Probably the
right?
same Juliana. Just
Probably.
She gives
the
the
bomb.
kids one of the little
the GoPros?
the GoPros,
Oh.
and they get to
Go down the
go
water
down the
slide.
water slide, or they get to go
Show your
whatever,
adventure, what
and
way
they're
you wanna
doing
do
it
with it.
from their perspective,
That's
and
cool.
so it's really neat. And so then the kids get super excited, to get up there and see themselves in the morning when they're watching it on video. So there's so many roles and so many things that these kids get to do while we're there. And again, there's no charge to our families, but we want to make sure that while we're there, we're giving them. And there's so many people that donate their time. Like we're all volunteers, we all volunteer board, we all do that part of it. And so, but without our community stepping in and doing, because sometimes, you know, you go to a potluck and some people say, let me just give you the money and you can make it versus I'm not going to make it. It's the same thing with camp. Like if you can't go for a week, donate.
Yeah.
You know, every little bit helps. It's not like a specific, because it's you mentioned earlier, if everybody gave $1 out of everybody in town, we would be good every year.
Absolutely. That's really all it takes. It's not, it's more hands make less work. And if you got $5, please donate it. If you want to volunteer, every little bit helps make this camp happen.
Yep. And at Purple Day, you know, we will do a toy drive. I'll let Tabitha talk about the details of that, but maybe people are asking, a toy drive, why do they need toys? And so at camp, one of the days we do a very special event, and we actually hold a birthday party for each one of these kids.
Cool.
A lot of times it's because maybe they've never had a birthday party before.
Sure.
They've never been celebrated.
They weren't the center of attention for anything. Yeah.
And so there's a sweet lady, Tabitha can give her a shout out, but she'll make a cake with the kids' names on it, so they actually get their own individual. And it's not even a little cake; it's a pretty nice cake with their name on it.
Nice
they're
cake.
beautiful.
That's why they're going to be sick when they eat it all by themselves.
Yes.
Well, most of them don't tend to eat it, Mike.
It's a
You'll
cake.
see it's face all
They
over
wear more
everywhere.
than they eat.
Oh, yes.
But we decorate. Then we have a fun event where maybe it's every year's a little bit different, but a carnival. I mean, we go huge.
Cool.
And so not only do they get gifts, but their counselors get to go and kind of pick out from the toys that are donated from the community. They get, as they're learning the kids throughout the week, maybe a kid's mentioned, oh my gosh, I love Barbies, or oh, I love, you know, I've never had a football, but I wish I had one. Then the counselor at night will get to go and kind of pick in a room where we have all these toys set up, and then they wrap their gifts and we deliver it to them on their birthday at their party and celebrate them. And it is so awesome to see, because then the rest of the camp that evening is them playing with their toys. They have their cake. It's decorated for their party. There's
family
jumping
night in the
dollies.
den kind of thing.
It is a riot, and it is so fun. And just watching them, their smiles is like,
be kids.
And to be blessed with these gifts. And so, of course, you know, we're always needing money as well. But if you have toys, you know, please come on Purple Day. Our toy drive will be at McDonald's.
Okay. Down to the UFO one?
The UFO
Okay.
one, yes.
From
2 to 6.
Excellent. This is April 27th. That's Purple Day. We'd love to paint the town purple.
Yes.
Do you guys have signs and things
So
where
we
people
have
can
signs.
pick up?
So it's $500 if you want to do a sign.
Okay. And again, all that money goes
All
back
the money
to the
goes
camp.
back to camp. Everything goes straight into camp. We also have some Purple Day shirts.
Okay.
So we'll be selling them for $20 for a donation.
You guys still have the website they can go to?
We still have the website. Yep.
Okay.
It's purpleday.squarespace.com.
Okay.
Or you can email rfk327@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or call me.
Or if you look Purple Day Roswell on Facebook,
Yes, we
shoot
have-
any questions
Yes.
through the messenger there, and these ladies will get back to you.
Yes. Debbie Lucas is the one who does our cakes.
Okay.
And she's been doing them for many years. And it's neat because those cakes, they have the kids' names on them.
That's so personal.
So
It's
she
awesome.
really personalizes the cakes. So they're not small cakes. They're, you know, but the kids have their names on it. So it's one of those neat things because the kids have never had birthdays.
Yeah.
And so they remember those type things.
Yeah.
So we do.
It's done just for them.
It is. And it's a whole day. And we usually will have Camille from Runyon Farms comes up and does the zoo. And like for all of us, I think we absolutely love that part. But there's so many different things for the kids.
Yeah.
But with Purple Day, you know, with the toys and stuff, so they're unwrapped gifts, and we want them from like ages 6, 7 to 12.
Okay.
Typically, it's one year somebody got remote control cars. Oh my gosh, it's been the biggest hit ever since, even for the girls. The girls, so
Everybody loves driving cars, and
most of the girls don't tend. It's really funny how you would think they would like the Barbies and the dolls, and typically they don't. Most of all the kids want like craft type stuff, like making jewelry or games or like sports, like footballs
I
and
know
basketballs.
when I was a boy, Barbie had a Corvette and a cool house. And I was like, I don't really want the Barbie, but I want that Corvette.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know?
Yes. And they love the remote control car thing. So those type things. And if you're not sure you want to go buy, you can always just give us money when we're out there, and we'll go pick up stuff. Because we do try to learn something about the kids. So we kind of give something that's...
We want them to be so excited
to have it versus just giving them a random
it's
toy.
something for their very own, and they treat it as such.
And some of them have never had anything of their own, or they move from home to home and they don't get to take that stuff with them. So, and that's one of the things with the pictures and some of the other stuff we want them to have.
Absolutely
on there.
I just saw the time.
Yes, and
I tend to do that. But we want to get people involved. Please sign up. Please sign up to donate money or buy a sign or buy a T-shirt or donate a toy here.
So for Purple Day, I want to throw out before we get off is Domino's has been a great supporter for us, as has Kremlin Auto Group. But
awesome.
For Wednesday, for the 27th, if you order from Domino's, you need to tell them.
Disappointing decision.
Disappointing for the administration, according to White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who says the Biden team is now reviewing its options in light of the ruling by the federal judge in Florida. The TSA recently extended the mask mandate into next month, but now the rule is no more. Russian troops have attacked along a broad front in eastern Ukraine, part of a full-scale ground offensive aimed at taking control of the country's industrial heartland. The BBC's Dan Johnson in Ukraine.
This is the reorganized and refocused military effort now from Russia, determined to take those eastern regions in the Donbass and to fan out to Kharkiv, through Mariupol, round the southeast coast, and connecting up with the troops that have already moved north from Crimea, the area that Russia annexed 8 years ago. That would give Russia then control of the entire eastern flank of Ukraine, a sort of horseshoe shape, and we're already hearing that the forces have started to advance beyond their front lines, trying to surge further into Ukraine, trying to take more territory, more towns and cities.
And a defiant Ukrainian president vowing not to surrender an inch of territory.
No matter how many Russian soldiers are driven there, we will fight. We will defend ourselves. We will do it daily. We will not give up anything Ukrainian.
Heard through a translator there, Ukrainian President Zelensky in a televised address to his nation. Well, there's a rally underway now on Wall Street. The Dow is up 303 points, while the Nasdaq is ahead 99, and the S&P trading 34 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Meadow Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Israel has carried out a series of airstrikes in Gaza a day after a rocket was fired into southern Israel.
Israel holds Gaza's militant rulers, Hamas, responsible for the rocket. However, Israeli authorities said they successfully intercepted the rocket and there were no reports of casualties or damage. In retaliation, Israeli fighter jets carried out a series of airstrikes in the southern Gaza Strip, targeting what they claim was a weapons manufacturing site for Hamas. There were no reports of injuries. The Palestinian rocket attack was the first in months, but follows a series of escalations between the two sides. Days earlier, there were clashes at a sensitive holy site in Jerusalem, a series of deadly attacks inside Israel, and Israeli military raids across the occupied West Bank. I'm Karen Chamas.
Bombings targeting schools in Kabul, Afghanistan have killed at least 6 civilians. News and analysis, townhall.com. Free at last.
A container ship the length of more than 3 football fields has finally been pried from the muddy bottom of the Chesapeake Bay more than a month after it ran aground. The Ever Forward was refloated just before 7 a.m. Sunday by 2 barges and 5 tugboats. A full moon and high spring tide helped provide a lift to the salvage vessels as they pulled and pushed the massive ship from the mud across a dredged hole and back into the shipping channel. The ship was traveling from Baltimore to Norfolk, Virginia on March 13th when it ran aground just north of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Keith Peters reporting.
The number of illegal aliens crossing the U.S.-Mexico border has surged, especially in recent weeks. The U.S. now preparing for even larger numbers with the expected lifting by President Biden of Title 42 restrictions. Once again on Wall Street, the Dow's up 308 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. I think I'm by myself. Sean's getting a kitty cat fixed this morning, so I'll just deuce myself. That doesn't sound right when you say it that way, but welcome to the deuce, everybody. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're having a delightful day this morning. I did lie at the beginning of the show by accident, not intentionally. Just I do got some actual guests in studio this hour. I forgot to write them down on my calendar because I do that. I'm scatterbrained sometimes, but yeah, we're got a full slate for you for this hour. Of course, we'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few, and then around 8:15 or so, Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us, give us an update on what's happening out at the college. As you know what, like everything else in life, graduation's just around the corner. They're gearing up for that course. They're already signing up folks for summer, and I think fall pretty soon, if not already too. So we'll get an update from Don on what's happening out at ENMUR. Later on in the hour, after news, we'll get you up to date with the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office. I don't know if it'll be Drew Garnett or one of the other folks coming by. Just get an update from them. Of course, we did have Drew on last week talking about his ranchers and farmers workshop he's got coming up later this month, and so maybe him talking a little bit more about that, or it could be talking 4-H or any of the stuff that's happening in Extension Office. So they'll join us around 1:45 or so, and then of course whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. You know, it's funny, and I don't know why I do this sometimes. I know better, but I do it anyway. I don't know if it's some weird masochistic desire deep down that I don't know about. I don't know my psyche for doing it, but I did it nonetheless. And what I'm talking about was I went on Twitter and I was just kind of, seeing what's going on. And so I was reading a lot about, of course, the federal judge yesterday dropping the mandatory mask ban on airlines. And many people are very happy about this, as we all are and should be. However, just when you think things are going well, then you start reading on Twitter, and I know better. I know I'm going down a path I shouldn't. I know this is where the people with very little intelligence share their thoughts. And they, boy howdy, sure did. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. That basically, and this is the part that makes me mad, is these idiots, and I'm calling them idiots because at this point, if they were nice about it, I just would disagree with them. But they're just straight up rude and mean. Therefore, you're an idiot, and I don't really care about your opinion. If you're going to come on and talk to me that way, then it's a respect thing. You want to get respect? You don't talk to people disrespectfully and then expect them to be respectful back to you. You know what I mean? That's, a good person would. But most of us, we don't have that kind of good, you know what I mean? We only have so much restraint before at some point you got to deal with the people that just aren't, when there's people that aren't willing to bend their view, you tend to start firming up yours when you do that. It's just, and I'm right, wrong, and different. That's what we do, And so, anyway, yeah, I read the comments of those not in favor of dropping the mask mandate on airplanes. And I guess the part that I don't get is they just dropped the mandate part. If you feel uncomfortable going maskless on a plane, there is not one thing on this planet stopping you from putting your mask on. Nothing. But that's not good enough for these folks. It's not good enough. They want to take your right away to think how you feel because they've got an exception to the rule in their head. They're the one that's like, but what about me? It's the same peanut people that say ban peanuts on airplanes. I mean, if I'm the airline industry and there's enough people that don't like peanuts or there's enough people, it's a problem, there is no law saying that peanuts are associated with airplanes. And to be honest, I haven't gotten actual peanuts on an airplane, except for that one time I flew first class to give me warm nuts. That was delightful. But when you're sitting back in coach, like you are all the time there when you do fly, I don't recall getting a bag of nuts any time. It's pretzels, like some kind of breakfast cake sandwich, something. I don't know. But either way, it's just you got these people that because they've got an extenuating circumstance, we're supposed to shut down the world for them. And there is that mentality. And if you disagree with that mentality, then you're heartless. You don't care about people. Insert negative. If you're not in favor of disrupting the lives of 1 million people to accommodate one person, then you're an evil person. That's the way they think. They don't, and don't get me wrong, it's not like I want to leave people behind or nothing, but if you've got that many unusual circumstances in your life that it causes that, then you and your family are the ones that need to make the accommodations, not the world, okay? Sorry, it's not worked that way. You got to do it yourself. Life sucks sometimes. That's how it works. That's the problem. A lot of parents aren't raising these kids and preparing them for life. They're just telling them sunshines and rainbows, and then they become adults and don't know how to handle nothing. And they sit there and whine because, I'm the one person that has to wear the mask. Okay, then wear the mask. We ain't shutting down society for you. Okay. Sorry, I got on Twitter, got me hyped up, and rather than actually comment back, which I know, that's just dumbness. That's just shouting into the abyss. Unless you want to get beat up. I mean, if you want to throw something rational out there and just wait for them to beat up on you, then by all means, go get on Twitter and make your sensible comment and watch the idiots fly. But, I've always expressed my love of social media and the usefulness of it. I get it. At the first, when it was, when it was in a world, and like, oh man, I'm talking to people from high school I haven't talked to in 20 years, and that was awesome. And that part of social media, I love it. I love the fact that I can stay connected with people throughout my life that I never could before. You know what I mean? That's cool. Like, and this is actually hard for some, even probably younger people to wrap your head around. There's kids in school and things back in the day. You just assume you never see them again. You go on your lives and stuff, and social media has closed that gap a little bit where people that you haven't had contact for a long time, you're able to catch up. And that's the amazing part of social media, and I love that. And I wish we could keep that side with, and I know I can't, because we live in a country where you get the right to be a dummy. You know what? You can say all the dumb things you want, and I'm so happy you can. I just wish I didn't have to listen to it all the time. All right, it is 8:14. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very warm temperatures coming up by tomorrow. It'll be pretty warm today, too, with upper 80s, a little bit breezy, and a mix of sunshine and clouds with a low-pressure system moving just to our north. Overnight, some clouds and our low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we have high pressure returning on Wednesday. That'll kick our afternoon highs into the mid-90s, gusty wind and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 57 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 39%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Today, mostly cloudy, although it's bright. Sun is out, but like you said, it's a lot of cloud cover out there. It's kind of that haze of cloud. So they say mostly cloudy for today. I don't know if I agree with that. But anyway, it will be decent temperature-wise. 83 for a high today. Winds will be out of the south. 10 to 20 miles per hour, which is breezy, but after the breezes of the last week or two, not so bad. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 52. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, we do have a fire weather watch that's going to kick in at 8 a.m. tomorrow. That will remain in effect through midnight. They may even upgrade that to red flag warnings and things, but tomorrow, sunny and 93, south winds 10 to 15, shifting to the west and increasing 15 to 20 for the afternoon. You're thinking, well, those winds aren't that bad. But again, couple that with the winds, the low humidity, all of that cocktail, and it's a perfect recipe for more of the fire situation, especially after this last couple of weeks with what's going on in the McBride and the Nogal Canyon and all the other fires going on around the state. Hopefully those are good reminders for people that when you hear things like fire weather watch and red flag warnings, you're a little more cognizant of what you're doing with heat sources. So just be careful. For you Thursday, sunny, highs were around 94, southwest winds 5 to 10 in the morning, shift into the southwest and increase in 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Friday, sunny and windy with a high of 94. And a little cooler for the weekend. Sunny, high of 83 on Saturday. We'll be back down in the upper 70s, sunny and 78 on Sunday. And we'll actually start the work week next week in the upper 70s as well, too. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take about a 3.5-minute commercial break. Then Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
If your car breaks down, no need to cry, because there's always a pal nearby at Big O. At Big O Tires. Locally owned will get you in gear. That's because you've known us for years at Big O. Big O Tires. Don't need to sweat any extra labor. You can always trust a good neighbor at Big O. At Big O Tires. The best service is part of our code. Need a cup of sugar? We're down the road at Big O. At Big O Tires.
Now through April 24th, buy 3, get 1 free on Mesa AP3, Mesa HT, Cooper Endeavor, and Cooper Endeavor Plus brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price. Not to exceed $35 where permitted. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. At participating locations, no cash value. Some stores in Missouri, Minnesota, and Kansas are company owned.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925, we have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Brew at the Zoo is back for 2022. Come and tap into a worthy cause. Happening 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. April 30th at the Spring River Zoo. Enjoy great food, an art auction, live music, entertainment, and games, and some of the best ice-cold craft beer around. A $40 ticket gets you 15 samples and the 2022 Friends of the Zoo glass. Designated driver tickets are only $25 and come with water, tea, or soft drinks. Early bird pricing is now available through April 16th for only $30. Proceeds go towards exhibits, enclosures, and enrichment for the animals. Get your tickets now for a good time and a worthy cause at friendsofspringriverzoo.org.
Whether you're buying or selling, no one likes to be pressured into making a decision. So when Roswell Ford makes an offer to buy your vehicle, you'll have 7 days to think about it. Roswell Ford is always looking for gently used cars and trucks like yours, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot. It'll probably be more than the other guys, and we'll give you a week to think about it. That's just the way we do business at the Tailgate Nation. So it only makes sense to see us first when you're ready to sell or to buy. Roswell Ford has southeastern New Mexico's largest inventory of nice pre-owned vehicles. Each one has survived a rigorous 139-point inspection, and Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee. So if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. With the days getting longer and summer driving on the horizon, now's the time to start shopping for your next vehicle. So come see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, where we'll always give you time to think about it. 9th and Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, Donna Oresio, back with us. Good seeing you.
Yes, good to see you, too.
It's been a while since I've seen your smiling face in studio
yeah.
here. So
you know what I look like. I haven't changed.
I do see
more gray hair, a little older.
We do have the staff photo to put up when you're on the phone normally there.
Yay.
So first off, how's everything at the college? How are you guys doing?
Very busy. We're, getting close to the end of the semester, so we've had some good activities the past couple months, and we have a few more coming up before we wrap it up for spring. And we're registering.
It's like, oh yeah, by the way, graduation's like,
and then we have graduation coming up.
It's less than a month away now, isn't it? Oh man,
it's May 13th. It's Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
So we don't want to jinx ourselves, but
that's all right.
It'll be fine.
Everyone wear a 4-leaf clover underneath their gown, and that'll cancel out the
rabbit's foot,
the bad, the bad voodoo there.
Exactly. no bad mojo.
Although ask Dan Marino. He was a quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. He wore number 13.
Oh, okay.
So apparently he's like one of the few people I know that went 13 with their numbers. So.
Okay.
So maybe, it's all in your head.
Well, it's just the way the calendar falls. So, what can we do?
Maybe it'll go the opposite, and it'll make it your degree extra lucky.
Maybe so.
And now that degree, you show up, and everybody that sees you will offer you a job right away.
You a high-paying job with lots of benefits.
There you go. But like you said, there's a lot going on here, so I guess we should probably just get started.
Get right
here.
to it. So I want to, first of all, thank everyone who supported our foundation golf tournament. We had that April 9th at the end of my course. We had a great turnout, great
Raised
sponsors.
Lots of money for scholarships.
Had a good amount of fundraising. We're still paying a few bills, but we should be a good fundraiser for us.
Excellent.
And thank all of our partners and sponsors and teams. We were full.
Deal.
We had a nice morning, so it was great.
Just curiosity, because you've been doing that foundation scholarship golf tournament for a long time.
Yeah, that was our 19th.
As far as terms of numbers, have the numbers recouping back to pre-COVID as far as donation numbers, or is it never fallen off? Or?
Yeah, we've had great support from the community. We had some really two event sponsors, Excel Energy and Anderson Bethany. So
good.
We've really not experienced anybody that has said they wouldn't support us due to COVID.
I think that's This
Very
might be one
generous.
of those weird positive things that have come out of COVID. And I've noticed, and you would be much more plugged in this, but this is just me from the outside looking in. It seems like there's a lot more people stepping up now to want to contribute money and towards things like scholarships and towards students' financial future.
Right.
I think, I don't know what, it seems like COVID kind of, and I don't, intention, you know, I mean, I don't know if just because people said they wanted to help and they found that was the best way to help, but I noticed it seemed like a lot more people were wanting to contribute and get involved in things like education and stuff like that for the future. So I'm wondering if there was a bit of a blessing in disguise where people that maybe didn't put as much stock into scholarships and things like that put more stock into it and are now seeing the actual benefits of contributing and supporting things like that.
Right. Well, you know, you just want to make sure you don't take anything for granted, and our community college is here for that. And without our private support, the college can't do certain. Our funding is very restricted from the state appropriations, so we can only do certain things. But with our foundation funding, we have a wide range of things we can do with our funds. And in fact, the foundation also contributed funds to a food pantry we're going to be starting on campus in the fall. So we had a good panel come to campus yesterday. We had people from the Community Kitchen and Harvest Ministries and Salvation Army and United Way, and they're helping us, giving us some guidance and some expert advice on how to set up a food pantry on campus.
And that's a great resource.
We have a lot of needs.
Because I imagine you have a student body that can utilize that as much as the outside community
Right,
would,
and mainly this will be for students only.
Gotcha.
So we are we know that there's food insecurity and a lot of issues that impact students going to college and being successful in their classes. So this is one way we're addressing it. So we also received, of course, a state grant from Higher Education Department for this. So we're working out all the planning for that.
Cool.
So
More
we
to come.
appreciate this support of the community, and there's more to come.
Excellent.
On that.
Well, yeah, we'll be looking forward to talking about a grand opening of a food pantry
So
there
we'll have
on the campus.
have that coming up as well.
Good.
So a couple other things. We have 3 teachers of character that are going to be recognized on
Awesome.
Thursday.
Good deal.
They're an adult education program, which of course provides training in ESL and basic skills, and then they also provide testing for the HiSET or the GED exam. So
that's a cool thing if you've ever been a part of the Teachers of Character ceremony where teachers from all over the region.
All over the county.
Really Chaves County. I should say region, Chaves County.
Yes.
Are honored. And it's a great night because you get all these elementary, middle, and high school teachers. And like you said, you get the college, private schools. It's really, if you're an educator in Chaves County, regardless of who you're an educator for, they give this ability for the public to recognize and honor these folks. And that's the other part. The Teachers of Character, the 3 from ENMUR, they're selected not by the college, not by other teachers. These are people, the public, students, people
they're
that
nominated by
generally people
students.
that were impacted positively by these people. They take time and submit to Character Count saying, this teacher really impacted my life and this is how. And so, and usually, to win the award, more than one person sent that about them and things like that. So it's really probably a more personal award for some of these teachers because it really is something that was bestowed upon them at the end of the day by the people they taught.
Right.
And that's the cool part about it.
Exactly. And they're doing kind of the drive-through parade again this year like they did last year. So that will be at Church on the Move starting at 6:30. And so our instructors are Patricia Martinez, Veronica Panabouf, and Tanya Rodriguez.
Well,
so
congratulations.
Those 3 will be recognized during the parade on Thursday.
And it's awesome that we get all these teachers recognized. There's many that don't get recognized. So in future years, if I just want to put the bee in people's bonnets, if there's a teacher that impacted your life or your child or student's life, and you thought they did an amazing job, brag on them, tout on them.
And usually the application, the nominations go out in March, and then they're recognized in April. There's a time here. So there is a little nomination form you need to complete. It's very simple, but it does make a difference in those teachers' lives. So we're excited about that.
My wife has received the award before, and I will tell you this just from her. She took a little more pride in that than many other things that she's received over the years. She's proud of her degree, she's proud of all of that, but when the public tells her something that at the end of the day we're under any obligation whatsoever to do.
Right.
That's the part that really it was that much more special to her because it came from her students.
Yes.
It came from people that she loves and supports and wants to see succeed, and they were like, they honored her for that. And
Yes.
so I know I'm talking way too much about this, but I just want to. It really is a big deal when you submit these. So
it's
please
very important.
take it seriously
Teachers,
and do that.
They have a hard job, so they really need all the recognition they can get.
And thank you to the people that and congratulations to teachers.
Yes, and Character Counts of Travis County is great about
every
putting
single
all
one
this
that's
together.
gotten this honor has probably well deserved it 10 times over already, and it's good to see that they're getting some recognition.
Exactly. So the next thing we have coming up, Explore Eastern. I've mentioned this before. We have that coming up next Thursday, the 28th.
Okay.
From 9:30 to 12:30, and this is an opportunity for seniors, high school seniors in our area who aren't familiar with the campus or not sure where they want to go to college once they graduate. To come out. It's from 9:30 to 12:30. They just need to sign up with their high school counselor if they haven't already.
Yeah.
We'll tour the campus, show them around, talk with some faculty.
Sure.
Provide them lunch. We have some great prizes to give away, including 2 scholarships from our foundation.
So it is a
laptop computer,
a carrot dangling for you to come out and do that.
Lots of prizes, and so it's just a great way to see what we have to offer. You've maybe just been out to the Performing Arts Center. You haven't really been around campus. So
I think if you're a senior, regardless of how cemented your plans are at this point, or not cemented, you should sign up to go for this. Even if you know you're going and you think you know the campus, maybe you do, but maybe you just went to the PE building and did, or maybe you're at the pool.
Right.
Maybe there's facets of the campus you know about, but there's a whole world that you probably never explored or even thought that was part of Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. And so this tour will give you those options and say, oh yeah, there is more here in the cafeteria. There's more here than the pool. You know what I mean? There's other stuff.
That's why a lot of people, they drive by and they say, oh, that's a nice campus, but they really don't know what our campus offers or what facilities we have, what equipment we have.
The technology, the actual curriculum and things that's part of the campus, all that stuff you get to learn a little bit about.
Right, and we're always making improvements. I mentioned before we went on the air that we did open our Automotive and Welding Technology Center, which we had received GeoBond funding for.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be equipped. We have all construction done, the renovation done.
Gotcha. Now you're putting the bows.
So they're actually putting in all the equipment now. So
we're at the point where they'll be full-time back in there.
Yes.
Is it now or pretty quick?
Well, the welding students are still in a temporary shop in our campus.
So basically the new semester of students will start there.
So they'll be moving in over the summer, and they'll be starting there in the fall. So,
awesome.
So again, that's just a new renovation that we've had going on during COVID and all this, and we appreciate the support of voters who voted for GeoBond funding for that to get that done.
And don't worry, the partnerships with the business communities that that have stepped up their game to make sure we don't miss a beat during this time of rebuild, they're going to be involved. That we don't need them to do as much, but they're still heavily involved in all of that stuff.
Yes, we appreciate our community partners.
And big thank you to Crumlin for housing and providing a place for these students to continue to learn while the facilities were being redone and remodeled.
Right. So we were great. We had a great turnout, and again, thank our legislators that came, our city leaders. So
and this is
we
why
had a wonderful.
This is why we tell you to vote yes on those bond C's and D's.
And
we
won't mention that yet, but we do have another one coming up in November. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that one in the summer or something.
We'll get to that again later. Another great thing we have coming up is we're getting a KENW TV studio on our campus.
Oh, the
in partnership
PBS station.
With PBS. So it's going to be in our Instructional Technology Center. We have a classroom in an adjacent area for a control room. So we're doing a grand opening, and we are dedicating this in memory of David Gonzalez.
Awesome.
Who people remember passed away. And he created a program called, I forget the name, it's Cultura. That started on KENW TV. And then, of course, he was an anchor and news director at KBIM TV and KRQE TV. So that will be an opening dedication ceremony on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, at 4 o'clock. And we're inviting the public to come as well, and some of David's family will be there.
I know this is early and all that, but is there any intent to put any kind of original content coming out of that studio? Where
there possibly will
maybe
be,
some shows for the PBS channel in New Mexico that end up?
Yes, we've been working with them. They are providing equipment and some set pieces, that sort of thing. And what we're going to be doing on the 5th is we're having students from KENW in Portales.
Okay.
Come down. They have a newscast from 5 to 5:30.
So they're going to come in.
So they're going to come and do their newscast from our studio.
Cool. They'll break
that
in the
day.
studio for
Yes.
everybody here. Cool.
So they'll have their little on-air flashing light outside the door for the first time. So that will be kind of a kickoff to have, and that will be used for many different things. If people want to use it for interviews, again, for broadcasting, and then
That's awesome.
Our media arts students will be using it as well. So
I think
we're really
there's a lot
excited.
of potential to
There is
expand it a lot. Not related, but sort of related. I've been watching Julia on HBO Max. If y'all,
I've heard of it.
It's about
yes.
Julia Childs.
Right. Yes.
And so when I think this, I'm thinking, who never knows? Maybe the next Julia Child.
You never know.
Will get their chops in that studio over there. And
Right.
by the way, it's an amazing story of the Julia Child story.
I've listened to some interviews with the actress that plays Julia.
Yeah,
Child,
it's a good show.
Yes.
I think they're about 5 episodes in
Mhm.
now, and I've been staying caught up. And even though it's not my normal cup of tea, I'm really kind of digging it. So
Yeah, I'm sure she's very, very interesting background.
But you never know. Maybe and who knows? Maybe you all see it and say get inspired.
We have some
maybe
talent.
that studio and that will be soon joining the fold here at the college.
Right.
That might be your ticket to being that next Bob Ross or Julia
yeah,
Child or Masterpiece Theater out there. So very
Right,
cool.
and I love PBS programming, so I think it's great. The next thing we have coming up, we are doing another Scrubs camp.
Okay.
In June, and that's a little ways away, but it will be June 9th, just to let students know, and that's open to 10th grade students, also through 12th grade.
Excellent. And the earlier you sign up, the better on this one because it's a pretty popular camp. Is the second or third?
It will be our second.
Second
we
COVID
had
kinda.
it planned in 2020, but we had to cancel
COVID.
it. So
But it was very popular. It's basically kind of like learning all the facets of healthcare that's available through ENMU Roswell. You get to learn more about the MS side, the nursing and all that, but they kind of incorporate the camp into how they all connect, if that makes sense. Where
they run scenarios and how the first responders interact with the people that come in with nursing.
So it's almost like they learn the whole
phlebotomy.
process of emergency services or medical services
Right.
there.
So that will be June 9th. It's a Thursday. We're just doing the one day this year. It's from 8:30 to 4:30. It's $10 a student.
Okay.
And that includes a T-shirt, breakfast, and lunch for the day. So again, if they're interested in any kind of health career, this is kind of a great introduction.
Or if you're
to
kind
that.
of deciding where you want to go in healthcare, maybe it's EMS, maybe it's doctor nursing, or maybe it's X-rays or phlebotomy. I always get this one.
Phlebotomy.
Take shots, draw blood. Whatever it is, this will give you a better insight on whether there's something you want to do.
So it's emergency medical services, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, nursing assisting, phlebotomy, and pharmacy technician.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll be getting more. We have a website we've set up for that, and we're getting the information out. So we're not taking applications just yet, but pretty soon for registration. We're also going to be doing an art event on campus. We're still working out the details, but we have a brand new sculpture called Reaching for the Stars that was at NMMI right on the corner. So they've donated that to our campus. So we've been working on installing it. Now we put some landscaping around it, some shrubbery. And
make it a nice place to hang out.
So it's a nice kind of central focal point for the campus. So we're going to be showcasing and showing that off to the public, in addition to some artwork that people may not realize we have on our campus. We have a large Peter Hurd. We have Dorothy Peterson.
Oh, wow.
Peter Rogers. So a lot of nice, really exclusive fine art that's on our campus, and we'll be getting information about. We want to open that up and make sure people know what we have and appreciate what we have on campus.
And then if you're looking for more quiet places to sit down and really read, study, or whatever, these are probably another good couple places on the campus. Because anytime you put things like that, people just tend to be quieter and somber around those places.
Right. We don't want them climbing it though.
Yeah. So
that could be dangerous.
So now you got a spot where you can sit down and get in the corner and get your book or read. Colleges need a lot of places like that.
Yes.
You can kind of sit and do your thing.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And so one other thing we have come, again, it's a little further out, but it's in July. We're doing Kids College again from July 25th through 29th. And these are for the younger kids, depending on the program between 4 and 7, 8 and 12 ages, 5 and 8. So a lot of these are surrounding Legos. So we have
step on
Lego.
them.
We have Lego Science and Technology, Life Skills, Lego Mania, Lego Expert, Lego Designer, And then we also have a survival tactics class.
Okay.
And these are all from July 25 through 29.
Okay.
So the costs vary, generally around $30 a student.
Okay.
So,
and what's the gear age? Like elementary age or younger?
4 to 7 is the youngest.
Okay. So really probably preschool to kindergarten maybe.
Age 13.
First grade. Okay, so maybe like
depending on the
third on down maybe.
Yeah, it's hard
I don't
for me
know.
to know.
Yeah, my wife's a great teacher. I still don't.
I'm not a teacher, so I don't know the ages. But, so again, we just want to make sure that people know we do provide programming for younger kids so that they can get exposure to college life and to some courses and things that they may not get exposed to during the regular class.
Well,
class year.
the more I don't care what when you have a child that's toddler and pre-K that age, the more you throw at them and to see what sticks, the better.
To different skills, and a lot of these you think, playing with Legos, but they really learn to enact, creativity and engineering, eye-hand coordination, problem solving, critical thinking.
Legos
all of that is incorporated with, and these are Lego sets that you can't buy in the stores. These are different Lego sets.
But problem solving, it all starts the foundation for all of that stuff.
A lot of things, yes. All that critical thinking and the STEM fields, the science, engineering.
And I also tell you this, while you're over there getting your kids signed up for that, take them to the story times over at the library during the day. Even if your child's not old enough to understand or comprehend or read yet, just having people read to them, and the more you expose them to that, the more they absorb, through osmosis, just being in the room and absorbing it. And there's so many tests done that those kids do better on school. All the numbers go way up. The good numbers go way up when you do stuff like that.
Right, and especially over the summer, you don't want to have any setbacks or just
regression.
Regression when you're just sitting in front of a screen all day long. You're not really doing it. You're just absorbing something.
You go to work all week, and then you veg all week, and then Monday you're kind of groggy, and it takes you a minute to get going again. Imagine doing that for 2.5 months and then get going again.
Right.
Yeah,
so we need to keep those stimulations going on. So, of course, we do have graduation coming up May 13th, as I mentioned, and our speaker will be Antoinette Gibson. She is an occupational therapy assistant graduate.
Awesome.
35 years old. She's an older student. We will also show as a good example of the fact that we're a campus for all ages, not just traditional students, but what we call non-traditional, those who are returning to school or career changers. You
have a lot of speakers at the graduations, and a lot of them are those folks that, like you said, they didn't take for lack of a better term, the traditional college path to get there.
Right. Yeah. Just decided, you want to just do better for yourself and your family, and you go back to school, and she was really motivated by her mom and decided that she liked the field of occupational therapy to help people when they need to recover from either a surgery, an accident, a stroke, things like that. They need to relearn those small motor skills. And so we're really excited to have Antoinette speak to us. She's a very energetic, uplifting person.
So even if you're tired, she's going to get you up and going regardless.
She'll be good.
Good.
So that is at the Civic Center this year. We'll be at the Civic Center. We have about over 200 students that are graduating, but not all of them walk.
Gotcha.
Some of them just
So I'm guessing the students that are going out there, they've got so many tickets they can give away.
So we're doing tickets, but we'll make sure that we can fit a lot of people in.
Sounds like anybody that wants to go, we'll find a way to get them in there as best as humanly possible.
Right, and that'll be our 77th commencement, so we're looking forward to that. Time just flies.
Doesn't look that old.
Doesn't look that old. Still looks good for 77.
Thinking in their 40s, still looks like they're in their 40s.
Right.
But, of course, if you have any questions about anything we talked about, of course, if you want to sign up for summer, can they sign up for fall yet or just summer?
Yes, fall as well.
Fall or
summer.
We're
registering for summer and fall, so you can talk with an advisor now, make an appointment, just walk in. They're taking walk-ins as well.
Sure. And, of course, you can go anytime to the website, roswell.enmu.edu.
Exactly.
And if you're a student or if you're not a student and potential thinking about it, I invite you to get on your social medias. And like Eastern New Mexico University Roswell, they have several different Facebook pages. But I know one of them, like Dr. Powell uses that as kind of his fireside chats for the students. Anytime there's special programs or any little videos or anything about services or things through the college.
Try and provide that
That's
information.
kind of the conduit for all that.
It's and we do post things on Instagram as well, mainly Facebook at the moment. But we're also moving into some TikTok videos. We have some new recruiters who've been working on some TikTok videos for us. So,
as these experts get younger, they're going to be more proficient in the various social media.
They're more proficient than I am in those. So we're trying to again reach as many different people as we can through as many different platforms.
I'm well versed on Facebook. I can dabble around on Twitter, and past that, I'm in trouble. So I know of Snapchat. I know of TikTok. I don't know how to work any of those.
Yeah,
so.
well, it's just sign of the times. And
it is.
It is. We'll see what the next thing is.
I get less and less hair, and more stuff comes out. So that's how it works.
All right. Okay, TMI.
Well, very good. Did we get it all?
I think so. One other thing we are doing, speaking of EMS, they are doing their what they call trauma lanes today on campus. So they'll be doing various different scenarios around our health science center.
Okay.
And the fire department does come out and spray the students with water so that while they're during the scenario, they can simulate being in a rainstorm in the rain. So it gives them another level of
we don't get enough rain to actually
anxiety.
wait for one.
Right. So we have to make our own rainstorm today. So
Gotcha.
there'll be some of that activity around campus.
So if you see that,
so don't get panicked.
Nothing to alarm.
Yeah, they'll be having ambulances doing runs, and so it's not real. It's all
supposed to happen. It's for training.
It's for training.
You're in a training environment, and training
that's today
things
and
happen.
tomorrow.
Okay.
So just in case you drive out there and wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
But, it's all planned.
So don't, if you're rushing to help, they got it covered.
Right,
so,
we've got it covered.
Well, thank you, Don, as
Thanks,
always,
Mike.
and good seeing you again. And
You too.
We'll see you hopefully next month in person here.
Okay,
so,
sounds
very good. All right, it is 8:45. Let's pause for news. Quick break. Folks from the Extension Office will join us in just a bit. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Roswell authorities continue asking for your help in solving that double homicide from last weekend. If you were in or around the scene of that fatal shooting that occurred late Saturday afternoon, you're urged to go to the police department to speak to a detective. Anyone who was in the area at the time of the incident at Cahoon Park might be able to provide information that could be important to the investigation. These shootings took place between the tennis courts and basketball courts just off Riverside Drive. The victims, Cameron Luna and Jorge Armendariz, were dead at the scene. Prompted by a court order, federal wildlife managers are issuing a new draft plan for managing Mexican gray wolves in the southwestern U.S. It's an effort to address illegal killings of the endangered predators. The plan calls for millions of dollars to be spent over the coming decades on more education, outreach, increased law enforcement patrols, and other projects to boost the wolf population across its historic range in Arizona, New Mexico, and in Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeast New Mexico.
You know what happens in the spring. It's cleanup time. And AC&B, HF Sinclair, Navajo Refining, and the Boy Scouts are at it again to help clean up our community. The Scouts will come to your house and haul off items that you need to dispose of and have no way of hauling. The dates for pickup are April 23rd, May 28th, June 4, and June 11. Just call 575-513-0143 and let me know when, where, and what. Take advantage of this free service and let's make Artesia clean and beautiful.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, no, I'm growing like a bamboo. Here's Mike Winters.
Let's start up a conversation, see how that goes here. Good morning. It is 8:48, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert back with us, and Drew Garnett, an old veteran now. Like, he's just here every week.
I'm trying.
Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
Good. Well, like spring has sprung, you guys kind of got busy all of a sudden, didn't you? Between what you got going on with the ranchers workshop that's coming up here, and of course, spring's always the time where people start thinking about diabetic cooking and all that stuff. So I imagine the extension office. I was going to say, and then, of course, I didn't even get into Andrew's 4-H stuff. That it's a busy time of year for that. So you guys are probably pretty busy right now.
We are. We're in our second round of diabetic cooking school. We've got one more round in August, and then 4-H workshops are almost daily basis down at the office. Yeah.
Good. I think March was kind of the sign-up season or the wrapping up of the sign-up season for 4-H, right? Or
if they're wanting to compete in competitions, fair, state conferences, things like that, that is a deadline of March 31. Okay. But they can sign up over the summer and participate, get a feel for how things run, and then compete next year.
And by the way, there's a bunch of stuff to be involved with in the 4-H that has nothing to do with showing animals, right?
Correct.
So very much so.
If you're not into that, don't worry. 4-H got you covered. So talk to Andrea. She'll be happy to give you all that stuff. So update on the diabetics here. Like you said, you're in the second wave of the class.
We're in round 2 right now. So we've got our second class going on right now, and then we have a new one in August.
Okay. And so the new one that's the year round, right? Where they or is that the one where they start and then they kind of follow through like the next year?
So that's our Prevent T2, and we're still getting that one going.
Okay.
This one is still the 4-class series. They'll learn about meal planning, carbohydrates, fruits and veggies, how to kind of compensate some of their dessert options.
I'm cluster them all together by accident there. Either way, though, all of them would help you. Like if you're someone that's been just recently diagnosed as either pre-diabetic or diabetic, or if you've been dealing with diabetes for a while, there's lots of resources through the extension office. Obviously your doctor and your medical people, they're your be-all, end-all for your medical stuff. But if you're looking for, say, ways to eat food that you like that doesn't resemble the food they tell you got, you know what I mean? That's where the extension office can come in, even to educate you on nutrition. If you're, because that's part of the problem too, is we live in a world where you think you're eating healthy and you're not because the way they process food, and you know what I mean?
And even the simple serving sizes, what you find in restaurants or any of your fast food things, the serving sizes are large compared to
our eyes got way bigger in our stomachs over time.
Yeah, very much. But we've stretched out those stomachs pretty well, haven't we?
Stomachs keeping up. But the rest of us not doing so well. So, but that's where Tamara and what you guys can do to help. So it's probably too late to sign up for the second wave of classes here, but if you want to get in and for the August classes, now's the perfect time to come see Tamara and get on the list, get signed up, and that way. And here's the cool part, now you get to try stuff on your own and then trial and error, and then by the time you get to August, you're kind of having you probably a better handle on what you know, and then now you can take what you've learned and enhance upon that, or if you've gone down some bad habits and trends, we can correct that and find alternatives to meet your needs, but at the same time satisfy the making sure the diabetes the numbers don't go up and the spikes and all the stuff that happens with that. So,
right.
It's very, very good stuff. So reach out to Tamara probably this week, and in the meantime, if you need information, resources, just like
give us a call.
Links to information or packets of information or whatever it is, you got that stuff available.
We do.
Good deal. Excellent.
Definitely.
What else do we? Anything on that side? I think I want to give Drew some
We
time
do.
too.
So we have. Oh, he doesn't need any more time.
This is true.
Well, I did come in last week, but
I take a whole. Yeah.
We do have our Extension Club Spring Social coming up on the 30th, so Saturday at 10. So the last Saturday of this month.
Okay.
And if they're not familiar with our extension clubs, they're adult clubs here in the community. We have 5 of them in Chaves County.
Cool.
And they really just further the mission of Extension. They're responsible for the books for newborns. So if anybody's having babies around in our hospital, they would have seen our packets going home.
Nice.
All the kids sent home from the hospital get a book and some information to get them going on literacy and things like that.
Right.
They also do our nursing cover-ups for the hospital as well. So they make those. And they're the same group that does the Christmas showcase in November.
Oh, wow.
So if they're interested in information and joining those clubs, we have some on arts and crafts, and we've got some in quilting, and we've got quite a few other ones. Come join us Saturday the 30th.
It just dawned on me when you were talking about all these things that you guys do through your end. I was thinking it's like, I knew that the Chaves County Extension Office kind of covers a very broad basis from agriculture to people and our children and all that, But really, now as you were talking, I was like, man, Tamara's side of it's almost the be-all, catch-all of the Extension Office. Like, Drews gets to focus primarily on agriculture, and he gets nut questions all day. That's kind of his, there's more to it. But, for the most part, that's kind of, Andrea, it's all 4-H stuff. She's dealing with and then everything else is you, pretty much. It's like
if it's family, kids, finance, 4-H, whatever.
If we can't put it into ranching or kids, Tamara's getting it.
That's pretty much it.
So if you need life skills in general, Tamara's probably the first person you need to call over the Extension office here.
Yeah. So they can come join us for our Extension Club Spring Social. Our Extension Council also does scholarships for our juniors and seniors here in Chaves County, and those are due on Friday. So call our office if they're interested in that.
Yeah, get involved. There's a lot of cool stuff here, too. And then, of course, farmers, ranchers, keep your nut questions coming. If you've got, and here's the great part. All you backyard gardeners and stuff, Drew helps you, too. He's not just out there helping the commercial farmers and the ranchers and people that do this for a living. If you're just starting a vegetable garden in your backyard, or you want to, every spring I try to plant grass, and every summer it's all dead. Why is that happening?
Yeah.
Call Drew. He can help you, maybe give you a better chance of succeeding the next time here. So,
and I'm excited to do that. I've been out to quite a few yards lately, and honestly, one of the biggest things people need to do, and sometimes we can set it and forget it, is check your irrigation system this time of year. Right now, one of the biggest problems that I've been seeing across homes is we put in that nice, fancy irrigation system, goes off early in the morning before we wake up, but we're not always checking it because
all
it's
the
going
heads
off.
are going this way.
And so some of the heads aren't working. Some of them are spraying in the wrong direction. So
my neighbor's yard's very green, but mine's still right there. You go look at your camera, and all your sprinklers are going this way.
Yes, very much so. So this is a great time of the year to check those and turn them on real quick.
And by the way, Southeast New Mexico is hard on sprinkler heads. Between our lawnmowers and just
our hard water,
the hard water, and just even the fluctuation in temperatures, I'm sure wreaks havoc on expanding and contracting of certain parts and things, and that shortens life of it. Yeah.
I mean, you look at the soil temperatures we've been taking lately. Last week they were in the 50s. A few of them this morning jumped up to 66. So we're having this big fluctuation even in our soils a little bit.
And I forget, what's the magic number all the crop folks are waiting for?
So a lot of them, we're looking for a consistency above 60 degrees for a lot of these crops.
So we're close to...
So a few of these areas we're getting close. It seems like that cold is hanging out kind of in that valley, kind of East Grand Plains, Dexter area. And so we're still in the 50s there, but it looks like north of Roswell, west of Roswell, we're starting to get close to those magic numbers. Again, you want that consistency on that number before you plant, though, because we can occasionally have those dips.
Sure, yeah.
And that'll mess up your crop pretty quick.
How many times have you seen trees green up early because spring felt like it's, and then we have a cold spell and
Although that helps some of our alfalfa producers in the area lately with, I think, with the alfalfa weevil.
Okay.
And so we were seeing a little bit pop up, and we had a couple timely freezes. We saw a reduction in the population. So hopefully we're not having to spray as much, but it's also, going to be dependent on the individual field, and make sure you're out scouting and paying attention.
you just spawned another question. Like, how many different weevils do we got? Like pecan weevil, alfalfa weevil.
It goes on and on and on. Yeah. Well,
I'm just gonna choke up every problem to weevils. Like someone's gonna flat tire and be like, oh, the car weevil got you.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's every fifth animal is a beetle, not just an insect, but a beetle or something like that. That's what they say.
Mine's a Ringo. No, I'm just kidding. Some kids didn't get that joke, but that's all right.
And then definitely I wanted to come on and keep pushing and reminding folks about a rancher's workshop that we have coming up. It's going to be Tuesday, so a week from today. So this is the week to sign up to make sure that you get that better price. Really, we're encouraging people to sign up now so that we have a good head count on the number of lunches that we have.
It's a brisket lunch, by the way.
That's it, brisket lunch.
Don't wait to be able to afford a brisket lunch is coming in. I'm just kidding. The prices are nowadays. Come sign up for the class.
Hey, and it's going to be a great one, and we feel like we have a great lineup. We have beef quality assurance. You'll get certified or CEUs if you're already certified. We're going to have management strategies from Dr. Franny Miller.
Okay.
We're going to have some live demos after that lunch. Again, make sure you're awake after that nice, big, heavy brisket lunch.
Get your hands in the dirt, get you moving a little bit. Yeah.
And then we're going to move on into sheep and goat management and wildlife mitigation, which is the number one problem if you're dealing with sheep or goats or those coyotes.
Sure.
And predators.
And there's a way you can do it, and there's a way you can't do it.
That's
and if
right.
you don't know the difference, you might be in big trouble.
Yes, and there's systems that work and systems that don't.
Sure.
And so you want to make sure you're utilizing programming and options that work. And then fly control. It's a big problem in our livestock.
And I think it's a great opportunity for your young ranchers to kind of learn the ways, and for even your older, experienced ranchers to learn some of the newer, more better ways to do some things nowadays.
That's it. Yeah. And we're just bringing the research and the information that's been developed to our community, to our producers in the area. So
absolutely. So we're out of time, but if anybody has any questions about anything we talk about, whether it's some of these classes here at the camera or some of the for the ranchers meeting here coming up next Tuesday, what's the phone number? What's probably the best ways to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, you can call the office, 62, I'm still trying to learn.
622-3210.
Yes.
Or if you want to call my cell phone, it's 575-840-2302.
Very good. And of course, the Chaves County Extension Office is a branch under NMSU. So when you go online looking for Extension Office, which you can, type in Chaves, it'll pop out, but understand it's all going to be attached to NMSU stuff. So if you see that, you're in the right spot. You don't think you're in the wrong spot, you're in the right spot. So it's all part of NMSU. So very good. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. And if not, and like I said, we need any more Tamara. If you need more than additional time, we'll let you come in all by yourself like Drew did and talk too. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, it's 9:01 actually. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
The Donbass regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. The Russian forces tried to advance in several sections, including from the neighboring Kharkiv region. I'm Karen Shamas.
And the International Monetary Fund downgrading the outlook for the global economy this year and next, blaming Russia's war in Ukraine for disrupting global commerce, driving up oil prices, threatening food supplies, and increasing uncertainty already heightened by the coronavirus pandemic. A judge has denied a motion to reduce the bond of the jailed parents of a Michigan teen charged in a fatal shooting at his high school. James and Jennifer Crumley disappeared the day before they were charged with involuntary manslaughter. They're being held on $500,000 bond each. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 328 points, the Nasdaq ahead 205 points, and the S&P better by 50 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm about to compare a pepper shaker to a cash-out refinance. Hang with me. You know when you're at a restaurant and they ask, would you like some fresh ground pepper? And then they crank that giant tube, but almost nothing comes out? For me, only a certain amount of time is socially acceptable to wait. I know that getting that pepper out might make my life better, but it just seems too impossible. And that's what we hear people say about the cash-out refinance. People realize that the value of their home has gone up like hot pepper the last few years, leaving all this extra money sitting inside their home. But is it too hard to get out? It's Ryan from United Faith Mortgage. If you're interested in cashing out the extra pepper in your home, we're good at doing all the work while you just sit back and relax. And often, your mortgage payment and years in the loan will stay the same. If you'd like to hear about your options,
we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Israel carrying out its first airstrikes on the Gaza Strip in months. The Israeli military says it came in response to a Palestinian rocket attack.
Sirens sounded in southern Israel overnight before an explosion was heard. The Israeli military said a rocket was intercepted using the Iron Dome missile defense system. Hours later, it said it had hit a weapons manufacturing site belonging to the militant group Hamas in retaliation. Flames and smoke could be seen in Gaza, but there were no reports of injuries on either side.
That's BBC's Yolande Dell in Jerusalem. And Israeli officials say the country's new laser missile defense system has successfully intercepted mortars, rockets, and anti-tank missiles in some recent tests. The Israeli-made laser system, known as the Iron Beam, is designed to complement a series of aerial defense systems, including the more costly rocket-intercepting Iron Dome system. News and analysis at townhall.com. A California woman says that, yes, she did do it.
Sherry Papini of Redding, California, pleaded guilty Monday to faking her own kidnapping in 2016 and lying to the FBI about it. Papini offered no explanation for what prosecutors say was an elaborate, long-planned hoax that saw her actually stay with a former boyfriend in Orange County, California, nearly 600 miles from her home. The 39-year-old Papini reached the deal with prosecutors last week to plead guilty, and she's scheduled to be sentenced July 11th. Prosecutors agreed to recommend a sentence on the low end of the sentencing range, estimated to be between 8 and 14 months in custody. I'm Mike Gracia.
A judge ruling that Amazon must reinstate a former warehouse employee fired in the early days of the pandemic, saying that the company unlawfully terminated the worker who led a protest, calling on Amazon to do more to protect its employees from COVID-19. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil wishing, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. I deuced myself last hour.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, did somebody come in? Did Tanner come in to clean you up?
No. I'm still
sitting in my deuce right now. I'm still sitting. I got it here. I'm still sitting here in my pee pants right now.
Yes, I am. I'm wearing a diaper.
How you feel now? It depends.
What movie was that from? Some guy he said, "No, I'm fine. I'm wearing a diaper," and he went double thumbed himself, and I don't remember what movie that's from.
I honestly don't know either.
But it's from something. I'm wearing a diaper. I don't remember, but anyway.
It's
coming soon.
Mm-hmm. Phrasing?
Yeah, it's all downhill from here. Be wearing diapers before you know it. So, happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes.
Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning.
On that optimistic note.
Yeah.
Well,
it's still sunny, cloudy.
It is. Honestly, I kind of prefer this over super, super like bright, hot, and windy.
Yeah.
At least this is, you kind of know what to expect.
Although this is that I'm going to tease you sunburn. Like you don't think you're going to get sunburn, and so you just willy-nilly go out there gallivanting in the sun, and then you get lobsterized. It happens. This is the kind of sun that does that. That's the sneaky sun.
Dude, and I don't think that I've really sunburned since this, but the absolute worst sunburn I have ever experienced in my entire life came from Warped Tour.
Oh.
Yep, Las Cruces. I was chasing Roxy's kids around. Basically, I was hired to be our boss at the time's childcare or.
So this would have been like
babysitter.
5.
Call it, yeah. Actually,
4?
I'm pretty sure it was 05.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 05, maybe 06. But and I was stoked to go. And this is basically the reason I got to go for free was because I was taking care of the kids. But man, did I burn bad. There is very little shade on that campus.
So 05, it usually is. I went to Warped Tour in 97, and it was at RFK Stadium parking lot.
Yeah, just blacktop.
Yeah.
There is no hope for shade.
Yeah, it wasn't in the stadium. It was in the parking lot. But anyway, so 05, someone like Fall Out Boy was probably the headliner.
I remember Offspring was there, which is the reason I was so stoked.
They might have been a headliner.
They were basically my favorite at the time.
Yeah.
MXPX was there, which I was also kind of excited for.
They live at the Warped
Yeah,
Tour.
they
I've never seen them outside of the Warped
NOFX was there, same thing.
Pennywise,
yeah, obviously.
All the same bands.
But that was, I want to say that was like maybe the year that Blink was there. I think they were the headliner.
See, they were the headliner in 97.
Yeah.
It was them and Suicidal Tendencies.
Blink was there. I remember Blink was there because it was Blink, Offspring. There was a bunch of really good ones. Eminem was there, I think, on like one of the side stages.
Yeah, he showed up at the one. Matter of fact, the one in 97 I went to, he was there, but he wasn't blown up famous yet, and he got booed off the stage.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
He was very famous at this point. Yeah,
no. He wasn't. He blew up like months later. Like after that, it was like. I was like, oh, who's this dumb white dude doing rapping? and they booed him off the stage.
Nice again.
And then like a month later, like 8 Mile, all that stuff came out. And it was like, this Eminem guy, he's kind of famous, huh? I remember seeing Ice-T do Cop Killer at the Vans Warped Tour.
Wow.
And that was 97, and it was already like passe. It was kind of, it wasn't, that was still a controversial song, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like in the mainstream media like it was earlier. So, but it was just, I saw Ice-T doing it. Now he's a cop on TV, ironically enough, but Honey Nut Cheerios, that's his big thing now. Ice-T is hawking some Honey Nut Cheerios. Yeah. He's like marching with old people down the street in jumpsuits. It's so
the man really does.
I saw that man on the Warped Tour, and now
he really does pull off a wool cardigan very, very well. I mean, you got to give it to him.
That's the part that I like. He's like marching. He's doing that power walking with a bunch of seniors down the street.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because dude, AARP got Flava now. Are you kidding me? They're going to take every advantage. Snoop's on his way too.
He was on a stage singing Cop Killer.
I know. Dude, like I said, Snoop is well on his way. He's crip walking out on the halftime show of the Super Bowl, and he's doing, commercials for, basically anybody that'll pay him.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. It's going to happen to you guys, young people.
Wait. Dude, what do you mean? What do you mean happen? It's happening.
I get that, but I hate to tell you, Sean, you're transitioning. You're about to not be in you're not to be in the young people anymore.
Do I need to learn new pronouns?
You better start eating lunch or eating your dinner at 4:00. That's all I'm saying, because it's coming.
You know what? I have noticed that, for the first time, maybe ever, my diet affects me.
Yeah. These are all the signs, bud.
I can't eat stuff anymore without it
all the signs
hurting, and that sucks.
It's all the signs. But yes, y'all wait, kids. From now,
when
you're going to be my age, and you see Ariana Grande doing reverse mortgage commercials. You're going to know what's going on.
This literally just became old man shouts at sky or shouts at cloud.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm telling you, Ariana Grande is going to be doing reverse mortgages for you pretty soon. And I'm telling you, it's right around the corner. Macklemore is going to be doing the Honey Nut Cheerios commercials when you're...
In theory, I'm going to go see Macklemore later this year.
Good for you.
Yeah, on my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of excited about that.
And this is sad because most of my young people, I have none. So I'm just grabbing straws here at like any names that like somewhat, just wait. Katy Perry will be doing Slim Fast commercials when you're an adult. You watch.
Pretty much there.
She's going to be on there just like, and you know what? She's going to be one of the ones that looks like Marie Osmond, that's going to be 85, but looks like she's 35. And she's going to be doing Slim Fast or Weight Watcher commercials. I'm telling you, that she'll be one of them. And she's going to be one of those people that you look at and it's like, no, you're not really doing Slim Fast. And it's like, how come you're like 60? Why do you look like you're 20?
You know what? The best evidence that it's going to happen is every single person that Mike picked out was like super hot circa like 2008.
I told you I don't have
like
any.
2015.
Yeah. My references.
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying desperately in my head to dig up like a Halsey, somebody that the young people are super into nowadays.
Yeah.
Charli D'Amelio. There you go. How about that?
The Catch Me Outside girl is going to be doing your car extended warranty commercials.
She's pretty much already messed up, dude. She's still like relevant. She's a rapper.
Well, I heard she just bought like
she has an
$6 million home the other day or something.
Well, she has an OnlyFans, and apparently, like when she turned 18, she got her OnlyFans, and like the first day, it blew. I think she said she made like $1 million on the first day or something like that.
Oh, you know what? She's not going to be old yet, and she's going to be doing commercials for like Little Caesars casinos or Caesars Palace casinos or something like that. Like buying the pizza with the...
No, she's going to be doing like celebrity boxing in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
She'll probably be fighting on the next Triller fights with Jake Paul.
I know what she'll be doing. She'll be doing the next VH1 I Love the 2020s or whatever. Or True TV's most outrageous videos 52, and she'll be one of the cavalcade of people telling you that guy was stupid for swinging on the tree.
I was blown away when I walked in to drop off the kids the other day. It was on True TV, and that World's Dumbest show is still
they got marathons of it.
It's still on.
Yeah, they got a whole series. And it's all the same people. Tanya Harding and insert C-level comic here.
Yeah, I think
Michael Ian Black, Danny Bonaducci, Leif Garrett.
Always Michael Ian Black.
Yeah, Michael Ian Black.
One show for 3 seasons, and every single clip show in ad nauseum.
He was a member of the State, so that he'll always have a soft place in my heart for him because of that.
I get it.
I love the State.
He's a funny dude. He's good.
Yeah. Anyway, I probably should stop ranting on my. Soon your people will be doing old people stuff soon.
Old man shouts at sky.
9:16. We're going to play our interview we had a couple weeks ago. We had Jim Tucker in studio and his daughter Jennifer joining us on the phone, and then with them we had a lady named Chandra Bodner, and she's with an organization called Project Protect Me, and they are an organization made up mostly of veterans, and they help. Like they were involved in Katrina, hurricanes, things that happen here. They also get involved in international stuff. Like right now, they're involved over in the whole war going on in Ukraine and all of that. They're actually helping people doing. They're not involved militarily. They're not fighting per se, but they're getting families connections, getting them out of the country, doing all kind of stuff like that. So they need support, they need help, but we're going to play that interview for you and tell you a little bit more about it. So, but before we do any of that, though, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Very warm temperatures coming up by tomorrow. It'll be pretty warm today, too, with upper 80s, a little bit breezy, and a mix of sunshine and clouds with a low-pressure system moving just to our north. Overnight, some clouds and our low in the mid to upper 50s, and then we have high pressure returning on Wednesday. That'll kick our afternoon highs into the mid-90s, gusty wind and sunny. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. And currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 39% with southeast winds at 7 miles per hour. Today, they say mostly cloudy. It's that kind of sun cloud we were talking about earlier. 83 for a high today. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 52 degrees. South winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, we'll be in the 90s tomorrow, 93 and sunny. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 early, later shifting to the west and increasing 15 to 20. We also have a fire weather watch that will kick in tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m., in effect through midnight tomorrow night. And then for Thursday, sunny, 94, southwest winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 out of the southwest later in the day. Friday, sunny, 94 and windy, and then a little cooler for the weekend, sunny, 83 for Saturday, down in the upper 70s on Sunday, sunny skies, 78. High expected there. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview talking all about the organization Project Protect Me. That's up next.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Do you believe that something great can be even better? We do. By adding sweetened peaches to creamy peach ice cream, Bluebell has raised the bar on flavor. Try a half gallon or pint of Peachy Peach today. You'll be better for it.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell half gallons, $4.77 each at all United and Market Street supermarkets through April 19th.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio is Jim Tucker, the dad, not the son. We just had the son on just a couple weeks ago here, but we got the dad in this morning. And then we got another member of the Tucker family, Jennifer Tucker, on the phone as well. And also joining us on the phone here, Chandra Bodnar. She is with the organization called Project Protect Me. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay?
I'm doing great.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good. Well, first off, thanks for joining us on the phone this morning on the radio here. Appreciate that. Jim actually put this on my radar last week here, and this is something I think Jennifer put on your radar, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just first of all, kind of lay the foundation here. I got to brag on my kids a little bit.
All right.
They're doing
that's
so
a dad's
much
job.
Good. Yeah, and between what James does with Celebrate Recovery, and then now Jennifer getting a hold of this project in Ukraine and all that, I can't be talking enough about how swelled up with pride I am on these kids. If a guy likes to leave a legacy, and these guys are my legacy, these kids. But Jared with his Plains Valley Online News, I mean, they're just such, But anyway, Jennifer called me right after the Russian troops invaded Ukraine.
Yes.
And she called me with such a concern because she knew there were going to be families with disabilities and such. And she has a daughter, her little granddaughter, Annabelle, who is nonverbal autistic. And she's just such a sweetie. But, they have certain needs and certain sensory issues and all this kind of thing. And so she had a real heart for these families that were going to be adversely affected by this invasion. Yeah.
And there's probably not a lot of resources available. I mean, they're barely trying to get the basic resources, let alone specialized needs, those types of resources.
Exactly. So she called me and she just started focusing. She just hyper-focused on getting people lined up with other people. And fortunately, they still have internet over there. And she was able to go through the internet, websites, social media.
Okay.
And she found contact. Fortunately, they get these translations in Facebook. They can put a post in one language and you can translate it into English and vice versa. So she was getting in touch with families on one end, and it got to a point where she showed me her whiteboard. She had a whiteboard set up and she had a column over here for families with needs, specific needs, and then she had her resources, her drivers, her donors. And she was connecting all these people together. Yeah, and it was just, it was great. She'd follow these families. She followed one family, say, like from the Donetsk region, she had one.
Okay.
And got them help and lodging and fuel in people's cars and help all the way out, over to the border.
So just be plugging connections together, basically.
Exactly. And she was just but it was getting overwhelming for one person.
Gotcha. Oh, this sounds very like a more modern ham radio style situation, Jim. I was just thinking.
Yeah, it is. As long as the internet stays intact, we're good, right?
Which, if folks don't know, Jim's other passion is ham radio. So
and there's been a part there played too, which we can go down that trail another day. But so anyway, she started putting all these connections together, and it was helping several families, but just 3 or 4 families is overwhelming for one person. So during the course of all this, one contact led to the other, and what have you. So she finally ran across Chandra and Project Protect Me.
Okay.
And she found out they were doing a lot of the same things that she was doing,
but had probably more resources and boots on the ground, so to speak.
Yes, absolutely. And Project Protect Me was started by retired Army veterans, so mostly from armed forces here in the United States and some in the UK. But these guys, you tell an old combat veteran, well, I want you to go back into the war zone and do some help this time. Man, it's like, they just, but it's all volunteer. And they go in. Now, a lot of organizations, they work at the border, and they won't go in. Some do, some don't.
Gotcha.
And that's understandable. Some,
Gotcha. Sure.
But these guys are like, let's
they're
go.
Going to where the help's needed, and regardless if the risk is high or not.
Absolutely.
And Chandra, who's with the organization, this actually started before, because I was kind of checking out the website, and the organization's really been involved in domestic stuff like Katrina, things like that, along with international things like what we're seeing in Yugoslavia right now. That's correct, right, Chandra?
Yeah, the organization actually stems from a company that my partner could run, and for the longest time we were thinking, how could we take what we earn from this company and put it to good use, actually do something and give back to our community, because our company was doing pretty good. So we all come from the military, but we've worked together as far as hurricane response and protecting people and businesses in austere environments. We kind of all come from that.
So as far as like getting supplies and stuff like for Ukraine in here, and like Jim was mentioning, you're going across borders to get to where the people are. I mean, is this like? I mean, obviously they're not fighting, but I mean, is it to the point where they're geared up like they would be in a war zone, going and literally going house to house giving stuff? Is it kind of like that, or is it a little bit more? No, we're getting it to like a distribution center kind of. I'm just trying to kind of get like what's the lay of the land and what they're doing when they're actually over there in this part of the country and everything.
Well, the Ukraine is not a small place. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
The trip they're doing today, they're driving about 11 hours into the country, which is pretty far. It's really close to a red zone. They're kitted up, and, it's extremely dangerous no matter where you are in that country.
Sure.
I mean, even in Lviv, which is pretty close to the Polish border, there have been missile attacks in that town a mile away from where the team stays. So,
wow.
It's not a safe place by any means. For them to volunteer to jump back in and go and help people, I can't say enough about this team. They're incredible.
Wow. Now, are they? I'm just curious if they're seeing. Obviously, we here back home are seeing on the news some of the reports of what the Russians are doing to civilians, things like that. Are your folks seeing some of that kind of stuff, or reporting any of that kind of activity on their end? Are they seeing that kind of stuff?
They're trying to stay away from areas that, they could get shot.
Sure. They don't want to go to active combat areas where they're currently fighting.
Yeah. And the checkpoints all over the place that they have to pass through have been pretty stringent on who gets through these areas and who's allowed in certain towns. So they've been stopped many times. Vehicles searched and stuff like that. The Ukrainian military and the city patrol units are pretty paranoid about who comes in. So, most cities where there's tons of people are pretty safe, but when you get out into the country, it's less so.
Gotcha.
There's not as many checkpoints. There's not as many guards protecting the town. So when they get out into areas like they're heading today and tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit sketchy.
Gotcha.
So, we're in constant contact with the group. We use some forms of WhatsApp and Signal and all these great, little apps that tend to be great in situations like this.
Sure.
The fact that the internet is still working and they have the ability to communicate is a godsend, because, we worry about every single thing they do and everywhere they go, and they're constantly updating me with where they are, checkpoints, and sending me GPS locations and stuff like that.
Wow, it's amazing to see, and really the internet. That's all the Elon Musk stuff, isn't it? Where he put the satellites floating them in space there. Why they got the internet, or is it more than that? I don't know. I remember Elon moved a bunch of his satellites over that region so they couldn't cut off internet. That was one of his moves. I didn't know if that was the reason why they still have it, or there's one of many reasons.
That may be a factor, but they said they haven't really lost comms. I mean, the moment they got in country, they all swapped out SIM cards to make sure they'd have phone, and the internet hasn't been a problem, really.
Okay, good. Well, because usually that's one of the first things that goes down in war zones is communication abilities and things like that. So I imagine for you as an organization and for the people in need, that's probably been a godsend to at least have, because communication's hard in a war zone, but logistics are very hard, and this is probably the one saving grace that makes those logistics manageable for you guys to at least put connections to the people in need.
It's actually amazing. We can talk to people that are actually in areas still held by Russian forces, and of course they're begging to get out and begging for help. Unfortunately, in some cases, there's nothing we can do about it.
Sure.
But try to talk to them. Jennifer really tries to, keep these people's hopes up that it's not going to last forever. We'll get you out as soon as we can and stuff like that. I mean, it's amazing that she can talk to people that are still in, captive areas.
Sure. Are you
this
guys
is
even...
an entirely different kind of world,
Sure.
Entirely different.
I'm curious, obviously your main goal is to getting them what they need, supplies, things to live and survive and do those kind of things. But it almost sounds like in a little bit you're playing the role of, psychiatrist to mentor, you know what I mean? Like, because you're talking to families that are right there and I'm sure, your voices are voices of comfort to them and hope and things like that. So when we talk about, getting them water and food and medical supplies and all that, that's highly needed. But I think the humanity side is as important, if not more important sometimes. And I think...
Yes. In my network, Project Protect Me is part of it. They are an essential part of the network for Ukraine. On the other side of that, we are connected with psychologists and social workers. They are actually talking to a group of 19 families with disabilities that are in a Russian-controlled area. And they do Zoom meetings with them. They talk about controlled breathing and how to lessen that stress and bring down anxiety. While we cannot get supplies to that area, we do have psychologists on hand talking to them and doing Zoom meetings. And that is just one part of it. With the comforting words, and you start getting to know these families. And even when we do an evacuation, we get them out to Western Europe into a safe country. There is, I believe now, 7.1 refugees from Ukraine in Western Europe.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of needs, a lot of immediate needs. And I have stayed with 4 different families that we were there from day one of evacuation. We've been with them. And now we're still helping and supporting those immediate long-term needs. It would be cool to, okay, here you go, here's a safe country you don't know anything about, you don't know the resources, you don't know the language, but good luck,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
We stay with them, and so we're kind of doing the legwork. Okay, contact this person. Here's a resource, because we're at home, we're not in war, we're not in a new country, so we're able to find these resources, find sponsors. We just found a sponsor to order a new pair of glasses for a 10-year-old Ukrainian girl that is in Romania right now, and she'll have new glasses here in a couple of weeks. There's makeshift apartments in Germany. I have a family that needed a microwave. We found a sponsor to order a microwave. They'll have that on Saturday.
Wow.
So, when you connect with the family and you help them from point A, B, C, and D, you kind of just stay with them once they're settled to still be that point of contact for help.
I got a feeling you just made a bunch of friends for life. You're going to be your hook, line, and sinker, and after this crisis is over, because it will, and these families are back to thriving and doing the things they want to do as families. I got a feeling there are going to be a lot of around the holidays and things, visits and discussions and chats and things like that. So, which will be a beautiful thing. I can't wait for that day. But there's a lot of work to be done before then. But
and she sent me pictures before of the little children in the family and the family together and all that. Here they are, and then here they are again in their new home, which they would have probably wanted to stay in their original home, but you make the best of what's at hand, and just to see the faces on those little children, and it makes it really personal.
And then you start putting your own family in those images. You know what I mean? You start thinking, what if my family was sitting? Because you think about it, and we have it great here in the United States of America. Most of us would never fathom we live in a world where somebody could be coming up our neighborhood, blowing up streets and things. That's unfathomable here. And I hope it's always that case. But in the reality, it's a few steps away from that, really. And so to see how, and we all think, well, what would we do if we're in those scenarios and things? And so We hope we never have to be, but that's why we want to support here. So hopefully these families don't have to experience what they're experiencing for long, or we can put them in scenarios where they can thrive, or so at least be a happy, thriving family until they can go back home, or what they ever decide to do next for the family. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of parts of this operation. We have advocates and agencies here in the U.S. helping in our network, Finland, UK, Netherlands, Romania. The Romanian Pentecostal Church has been amazing. So we have a lot of different moving parts. Everybody is essential, in their own way to this. Now, to get help directly to families with disabilities, autism, that need sensory equipment, special dietary food, that is Project Protect Me. That they are essential to our operation. They are the ones to house sensory equipment and food supplies. So to really keep them, fuel in their vehicle and lodging, they are just essential, because we could order all the food and all the sensory supplies all day.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't have anywhere to store it in Ukraine and no one to deliver it, so they have just been amazing.
Awesome.
They went to a village last week. They brought a pair of head noise canceling earphones and gluten-free food to a family for an autistic child. And no questions asked. I said, hey, this is what this family needs. They're like, okay, we'll do it. Right, done. And they're great. They've just been fantastic.
It's amazing. We have such, when we talk about the things we see every day in the world, it shakes your head and you're like, I can't believe people do that. And then you go the other way and you're like, people that don't even hesitate to put their lives on the line to help someone else. And you're like, that is so amazing to see and know people that they don't even just hesitate. They just, boom, no, we got that. And these people are salt of the earth,
Yeah, and I have to remember one incident where Jennifer called me and she said, Dad, I've got a family of 5 that have made it to the border. And they had transportation to Warsaw, I believe it was, but they needed to get to Finland. Well, Finnair was offering free flights into Finland out of, for refugees for just the price of the tax of the flights.
Okay.
So she flew a family of 5 from Warsaw to Helsinki for $144.
That's great.
Yes, it's there,
Awesome.
It's great. And so a lot of organizations and individuals just coming together to get this done.
And what I love about this whole thing is you always hear things, because it's easy when you get a global thing like this and thousands, millions maybe, displaced things that are going on here. It's almost easy. It's easy to get lost in the big picture of it. And you're like, how can I imaginally get involved in all this? It just seems like too much to do. And this organization's it does look the old saying, it's the old joke, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that's exactly what sounds like what Project Protect Me is doing. They're helping families one family at a time, going through, is it one family that needs to get out? Is it another family needs to get supplies for their special needs children and things? Okay, that's what we're going to do. And you just pick these things and help and that's humanity. We talk about organizations and we hear because we all think in our in our head we think, oh, the Red Cross comes in with 70,000 things to rescue everybody and all that, and that's not the case on what's going on here, and won't be the case. So it's really stuff like this where you when, and I hate to say this, but look at the stories of World War II and how refugees and things and getting Jews out of some of these areas and things like that. Read those stories, and it's not a whole lot different than what's going on in that part of the world again right now here, and it's the technology may have changed a little bit, but the storyline has not, and it's kind of sad in some ways when you think about it and you think humanity has evolved a bit, but it hasn't. But that's what I love about this is Project Protect Me is really going in, and it's if it's something tiny that's going to help this one family versus something that's going to help a whole village, we're going to do either way. You know what I mean? And I love that here. So let me ask you, this as far as I'm sure money, finances, donations is a big thing. What is it? Is monetary the big thing that can help? I would imagine volunteers and things. If there's some veterans listening that maybe are finding out about this and saying, this is like an organization I'd like to get more involved in being more of the boots on the ground stuff. I'm sure you can always use more of those folks, but the average public that's just out here listening, what's the best way they could get more involved?
So I will. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh, I was going to say real quick, monetary, and I tell you, I have learned this very quickly. If people want to help immediate, it's the monetary donation.
Gotcha.
Because Project Protect Me can buy supplies in Lviv, Ukraine, that we can buy it quickly. That saves money on shipping. For people want to donate supplies from here. It's going to get held up in customs. It's going to take a month to get here. And Project Protect Me, they can just buy right there.
Gotcha.
And if they have to go to Poland, they can get it right there.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts a lot of steps out of the process there.
Yes. And then Sandra was going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say many of these items, all it takes is driving around and looking. They're very specific. The gluten-free stuff has been the hardest to find, but a lot of the sensory toys and stuff, the guys, I give them a list, and I kind of say, go for it. Try to find these items. They drive around. They find what they need, and provide it to these families. I think sending it from here, I just don't think is going to get there fast enough.
Okay.
And, get to the people they need that need it quick enough.
Yeah, that's the problem is where time is of the essence here, and so and that's where it's tricky. So, but where there's a desire, there's people they'll find a hole. If you're kind of concerned as a listener or as someone listening, find out. Reach out to the website, call direct, call out and say, hey, what can I do specifically? And they'll tell you specifically what you can do to help out directly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people that want to volunteer, they don't realize the roadblocks we've had to face over the past month. They come in with a rental car, but rental cars can't go past certain cities. So they'll get stopped and turned around.
Sure.
A lot of rental companies don't let you go past the border. So, I mean, we always need good veterans. That's what sets our organization apart from many others. We use people that are experienced in these types of scenarios.
Sure.
And it's so we really don't have to, babysit them. They can hold their own. Our team's really a tight team, but we're always looking for new veterans to come and help and join. But they have to come for the right reason. We're not there to fight.
Right.
We're there to help. We're there to do something. These communities of disabled, autistic, you name it, they're often forgotten in these types of situations in war.
Gotcha.
And we're here to let them know they're not.
So I imagine really the military background, all walks of life, from obviously your medics and your those types of frontline soldiers and veterans are obviously their skill sets. But I would even argue like your in the rear with the gear military folks, your CE guys, your ones that have actual skill sets in maybe engineering, mechanics, things like that. They'd probably be very useful over there as well, serving needs, and maybe, hey, maybe they got to help restore power somewhere or something like that. If that's an issue that runs up in one place they come across, I'm sure, you know what I mean? There might be actual stuff like they did in their Army days where they were getting fresh water to their troops. Maybe they have to get fresh water to some of these civilians and things, those types of skills might be helpful too.
We get requests day and night for anything and everything specific, helping an organization try to rebuild or reestablish power.
Okay.
And I get veterans reaching out. Look, I was a combat engineer. How can I help?
Yeah.
I'm not only a veteran, but I'm an electrician in my civilian job. Can I come out and help? And I'll direct them to the right place and the right organization and say, sure, they can use you.
Gotcha.
Same thing with medics. We have, everybody's a medic pretty much, but we have, EMTs and paramedics, and they're definitely needed all over the place. So we just make the contacts and we say, okay, your point of contact is this, go to work.
I'm
so
curious.
we kind of help out in every way possible.
Gotcha. How's been communication? I mean, as far is there a lot of English speakers over there where that hasn't been a problem, or could there be more help in that side of things too? People that speak Russian, Ukrainian, things like that may be military experience. Is that an asset as well, or is that not necessarily a problem here?
Oh, it would definitely be an asset.
Okay.
The language barrier is often a problem. Luckily, there is a lot of the younger generation there speak English.
Okay.
It's the older generation that really, our people on the ground have made spectacular contacts with all kinds of people, all kinds of NGOs, all kinds of volunteers. They've networked more than we could possibly do from here.
Okay.
I think he has about 100 different assets on his list. And, if he needs something, he knows exactly who to call. If they need help translating a car agreement or apartment agreement or something like that, he knows somebody who can reach out. He can reach out to and get the help he needs. I mean, they're absolutely those kind of translators are indispensable in cases like this.
Gotcha. So if people are pretty fluent in that might be your way that you can serve here and help us help these families and help these people get their lives back to thriving again here. So I can imagine the stories and everything that these folks that see. That they've shared and experienced with you guys so far. I mean, how's the mental health of your volunteers? That's the side I wanted, because especially some of the folks that are over there seeing some of the stuff every day. Anytime we talk about military and first responders, PTSD, and just being, how is your volunteers doing? Are they taking care of themselves too?
Well, our guys are all doing great. They've seen it before. They've all been there, no problem.
Okay.
And we are rotating people in and out to make sure the same people are not staying, longer than they can tolerate.
Gotcha.
Some people, I need my family. I said, okay, you're on the next flight out.
Gotcha.
So, we're taking care of them.
Good. I was kind of curious because I know also some of the types of people that will jump in at a moment's notice to help are also the same type of people that won't take care of themselves because there's someone else that needs more help than in their eyes that they do. You know what I mean? Some of the best helpers out there are also some of the biggest boneheads when it comes to taking care of themselves.
Yeah. Selflessness.
I feel like that.
It's like, no. Stubborn veterans? No. But again, so probably the best resource for folks to check out is probably go to the website, right? projectprotectme.com. Would that be probably the best place for most folks to learn more right now?
That is the best place to look. We have all kinds of pictures on there, information. We have ways they can donate to the program. We have all our tax information and, nonprofit information. Our UN information is all on there.
Okay.
If they want validation about the program, they can just reach out and check it out.
Excellent. Is there like any particular issues you're dealing with right now that you're like, hey, we're in the need of something right now? I mean, I don't know if it's a person or a service or something that you're kind of having a little bit of an issue trying to make happen?
Well, we were having the problem of not having a vehicle that can go past the checkpoints, but we solved that a week ago.
Okay.
We were able to purchase a vehicle, and the group all kind of put money towards it so we could buy it.
Okay.
Because we're not getting a lot of support from the community as far as monetary. So my company and all the volunteers put money towards it, and they're doing it almost every day, putting money towards the supplies that we need to deliver. I mean, there's no big warehouse that we can go to pick up all the stuff that we need. So the guys are just buying it. And, at some point, their money will run out. I don't want them to, lose their house over this project. So,
sure.
That's basically what we need from people is their support. And just spread the word about us. If you can't help, talk to someone who can.
Yes.
Or just share it with a neighbor or a friend, family member. These types of things are important.
Use your social medias. That's where, be a part of the cog that way. Like you said, sharing the word. I know a lot of people have your Facebook pages now, at least, or something. You communicate with your family and friends. Use this, put that on your wall. Say, hey, go check out check out this Project Protect Me. They're doing some real great work right now, helping families in Ukraine. They've been helping families for years in Houston, Katrina, all these places. Now they're doing it over in Europe here. Come on and let's get involved.
Yeah, and share the link to this show on Roswell's Talk FM.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Tell me, pardon the dumb host, but listen to the information.
Oh, and I might throw in a note here, too. The first time that I looked for Project Protect Me's website, I wound up in a different place, and I was confused. And when you wind up on the right one, you'll see a bunch of hands raised up.
Yes.
And that's where when you know you're in the right place.
Yeah, I did look, too, and I ran across some organizations that I think deal with sex trafficking or something like that. Yeah. They're also called Project Protect Me. I'm sure they're a very good organization, but we're talking about projectprotectme.com. If you type that in direct, it'll take you to the website that we're talking about here. So if you do the Google search, you might find in a few other things. But if you go to projectprotectme.com, that'll take you to the correct website there. Do you guys also do like social media, have like a Project Protect Me Facebook or Twitter or any of the social media accounts?
Yes, we have a Facebook group and a page that we follow the team and kind of let everybody know what they're doing. When there's missile attacks, we let everybody know they're safe.
Okay.
When we have more intel to put out, we kind of add that. Every mission we do, we try to get it up and try to get pictures up. But honestly, my team is not there on vacation. They're not there to take pictures. Taking pictures of people that are on their worst day ever is not really what we do.
Right.
So
they're there to help
you
them,
won't find everything. Yeah, you won't find everything on the page, but there is some stuff on there to show people kind of what we're out there doing and who we're helping and stuff like that.
Yeah, so please follow it, like it, and then get involved. Even if it's donating money or just something as simple as bookmarking and sharing some of the information about Project Protect Me on your own little social medias and things like that. As many eyeballs as we get on it, the more that know about it, the more money, the more resources, the more things that can happen to help families and people that are in crisis right now. So we're about out of time. Ladies, is there any information that we wanted to share that we just skipped over and didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think everything we covered. We're the Project Protect Me, Sandra. She's been great to work with, and just fuel, lodging, and money, any kind of help, so they could keep buying supplies, so we can get it there quicker.
Yep, these are families that in some cases probably never fathomed they'd be doing this. And a couple years ago, they were living just like you. You know what I mean? Living their lives, waiting for their movies, going to work, doing their thing. And now their complete world is upside down. And to be honest, you yourself is not that far away from that. It's a lot closer than you think sometimes. And so think about that and see what's in your heart and see if you can help out here. It's easy. It's easy to put yourself in those shoes. I know we have it great in this country, the best country in the world. But be honest, we're not that far away from being in those same shoes as those families are here. I mean, it could easily happen. It's not as unfathomable as we probably thought, say, 3-4 years ago. It's just interesting. So, thank you very much for what you ladies do. And Jim, thank you for putting this on my radar here and getting involved. And like you said, he's just a proud papa bragging on his kids that they're just finding basically holes in the line and saying, where can I help? And that's what they're doing. And with your sons did that, your daughter here, so awesome. But thank you, ladies, and we'd love to get updates from time to time. Maybe we can get Jim to get you guys back on here in a couple weeks or a month or so and see where you're at and what updates and things like that, if that's okay with you guys.
That sounds great.
Awesome. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you, ladies, and we'll talk to you again soon. And thank you for all the work you're doing, and tell all those folks that are boots on the ground over there. We're praying for them, and God bless them for all the work they're doing over there.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll let you get back to work, and I'm sure you got about 27 different fires to put out, so we'll let you go do that. All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, there we go. Thank you thanks to your daughter and for bringing this to our attention here in Chandra and the work that they're doing there. And literally, it sounds like it's going from because I know a lot of us think like United Way, you cut a check, and no, these folks are like contacting families that are sitting there and saying, "Hey, you need glasses? Okay, we're going to try to put you in touch with something." That's real world sitting there helping doing things.
They are, and there's so many good organizations and groups and things, but this is, like you said, one way that you can. Most of us, I think, really want to get in there and make a difference, and sometimes you feel so helpless because you just. But anything you can give to Project Protect Me just does a world of good.
You're helping people that are caught in the middle, basically, of a political pissing match, basically.
Oh yeah, it's don't get me started down that road.
Jim, as always, appreciate the visit. We'll see you soon, and tell the rest of the family hi for me.
I will. Thanks again for helping us.
All right, take care. Anytime. Take care. Anytime. All right. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is looking for a qualified field technician to join their team. The PVACD conserves the waters of the Roswell Artesian Basin with lands located in both Chavez and Eddy counties. Please visit their website at pvacd.com for requirements and job qualifications or for more information on this great career opportunity. Resumes can be submitted at the PVACD office located at 2303 East 2nd Street in Roswell. The Pecos Valley Artesian Conservancy District is an equal opportunity employer.
Crack the vault and save this month at Roswell Honda. For 6 amazing days, prices slashed across the lot to save you thousands. Plus, get a 12-pack of soda and a trip to Mexico just for stopping by, a $15 gas gift card with a test drive, and a car detailing kit with purchase. And crack the vault for the chance to win cash. Then join Roswell Honda April 23rd from 10 to 1 for free food and drinks and your chance to win big. Vault in and win. April 18th through the 23rd at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years. From in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical. Name to remember.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests, and they offer answers and solutions when you need them most. Protect your home, your children, and your pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Let Bob Reed Pest Control and their fully licensed professionals start working for you and your family today. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeastern New Mexico. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM.